Let's see. I've got this amazing Zoom screen in front of me, and I'm going to bring on Grandmaster Maurice Ashley, who's joined us from the United States. He needs no introduction, a very old friend of mine. Maurice, it's such a pleasure to have you with us.
Thank you so much, Tanya. And once a player, always a player. Let's be clear. But I'm very pleased to be here. This should be a lot of fun.
I am thrilled to have you. You are author par excellence. I'm just so inspired by everything that you do, Maurice. And I think starting up and having you here with Chess24 for this tour, we couldn't have asked for a better pre-show. Let's bring on our second guest. Now, he's someone I've known for far too long. Why I'm still friends with him is a question I ask myself very, very often. Please welcome International Master Lawrence Tran. Lawrence, how are you doing? What is that background? Where are you?
I'm currently in the Arctic, and the northern lights behind me are absolutely. I mean, I wanted to be close to the action. I'm a few thousand kilometers away still, but no, I can't compete with Maurice for the background. Look at his beautiful setup there with the night and the books and whatnot. And if I were to show you my real background here, well, it wouldn't be too impressive. So, I've gone for the northern lights, and hopefully we're going to get this kind of action on the board as well. Look at that. Gorgeous.
It really is. Well, you are going to be there in a couple of days, so that's going to be fun. And I know that you've planned it super well because it's coinciding with your birthday. Celebrating, what is it? How old are you? 24 now?
Yeah, that's right. 24 and a half. I am, what am I? I'm reasonably old. 36, 37, something in that region. No,
dude, you're rocking the baldy. You gotta have got a little bit long in the tooth.
Yeah, that's right. No, I mean, I've joined, as you said, Maurice, before we went on air, the Bald Club. I'm a fully fledged bald eagle, and I'm loving it.
That's what's up.
Yeah.
All right. Well, I'm gonna. Speaking of age, today the youngest panelist or the youngest guest with us. Now he's somebody who needs absolutely no introduction. By far, probably everyone's favorite person in the chess world. Please welcome International Master Sagar Shah, founder of Chess-Based India. Sagar, what's up?
Hi, Tanya, and hi everyone. Actually, Tanya, I was wondering why you didn't use the same. Like when you were introducing Lawrence, I thought you were introducing me. You're like, why am I still friends with him? And I was like, what did I do?
That's exactly why it was followed up with Lawrence's name and not your name, Sagar. All right. So guys, we are here now. This is something we've not done before, but I'm super excited because the whole idea of this is to discuss this first major that's taking place. And it's a hybrid tournament. We've got all the 8 players down with us in Oslo. And I think we have to get started talking about the tournament and other stuff that we want to talk about. But first up, let's bring up playing field. And I want to ask each one of you, personally, who are you rooting for and who are you most excited to see in action at the Esports Cup? Let's bring up our players list. And this is the roster. Let's start with Maurice.
Well, I mean, you're supposed to be very, very objective as commentators, right? I mean, that's your job, to be very, very objective. I don't see any Americans in the field, so I can't just root in a biased way. But I got to say, the youngster, and it's not because I have 2 of you great folks on in the panel, but the youngster who doesn't like to brag, the Pragg man, is absolutely the one that I am rooting for. No question about it. He's showing that he's got a future in chess, a bright future indeed. He's already smacked a couple of people on this field, on this page right now, including the big Magnus, the big dog. Listen, this kid is definitely got a future in chess, and the more confidence he gets, the more he's going to rise. So I'm really intrigued to see. He just won Reykjavik as well, so he's a star on the rise. Let's see what kind of damage he can do in this event.
Praggnanandhaa, very pragmatic pick by Maurice there. He's very excited to see him in the mix. Sagar, what about you? What are you most excited about in this event?
Clearly Praggnanandhaa, because of course, I mean, he's the one for whom every Indian is going to root for. Everyone wants to see how he can do in this match format, because it's not going to be just one game against one opponent. It's going to be match against each other. So that is clearly why Praggnanandhaa is one. But I'm also very excited to watch Anish in action. He's a very good friend and someone whom we always enjoy watching. And lastly, Magnus, because all this news about him not wanting to defend his world championship, and now what is he in the mood to play chess? Is he not in the mood? So all of that would be great fun.
How do you get to pick 3 people though? What's up with that?
We have to pick one.
Okay,
What the
Praggnanandhaa. Praggnanandhaa by far, but
Pragg and Pragg. Lawrence, what about you? Is it Pragg for you as well, who you're most excited to see play against these big guns?
Well, I'm excited to see Pragg play, but to answer your question, no. I mean, as you know, Tanya, I'm an admirer of beauty. And I tell you what, if Jorden van Foreest doesn't make it in the world of chess, he should be signed up for Gap or something. This is a good-looking man, Jorden van Foreest. And let me tell you, he's not only a good-looking man, he's one of the most creative players out there. He's a serious theoretician. He won Wildcard a couple of years ago, as everybody remembers. That was his breakout tournament. He's shown he can hang with the big boys. He needs to be a little bit more consistent. He broke the 2700. He got into the 2700 club, I should say. And I'm really curious to see how Jorden does, because I think he's got all the ingredients to actually be a very, very serious chess player and go up another level. And he really needs to show that he can duke it out with these guys. So I'm curious to see Jorden. Big fan of Praggnanandhaa, as both Maurice and Sagar have said. But I mean, I would have liked to have said Eric Hansen, but I might be in the clouds and in the sky at the moment, but I've also got my feet firmly grounded. That being said, Eric did have a great tournament, didn't he, the last time around?
Yeah,
he actually had a phenomenal tournament.
I mean, come on though, guys. Let's be real. As Sagar said, it's Magnus's world, and we're all living in it, right? I mean, this guy does whatever he wants. He's talking about retiring from chess. He's telling us his only challenge is maybe to become 3,200 or something. And he's busy playing poker. Like, what? How is he doing all this? And spanking people at chess as well. So clearly he's the favorite in the event. Every time he plays, if I had to put money, my house money would always be Magnus. But we're excited to see other people try to somehow take some of his shine.
But it's always very different, right? Because yes, who's the favorite to win? We all know that when Magnus is playing, it's an easy pick. But the player who brings a lot of entertainment, whether it's been Eric Hansen, whether it's been Pragg, I think we're all very excited when you've got this fresh mix of players. And we've been talking so much about Magnus. Sagar, you mentioned it, Maurice. You're talking about it. The guy's just been winning everything, right? He won the Tata Steel. He won the Airthings Cup before the first event of the tour. He won the Charity Cup. And now he's here. He just doesn't stop. And my next question to the three of you is it possible for anyone to win a Play Magnus event whose name is not Magnus Carlsen?
Well, it is possible. Go on, Maurice.
Yeah, if you get his app to play against them, it's possible. Magnus you talk about Magnus has won everything. The guy's been world champion since 2013. He's been the number one player in the world since he was like 8. So yeah, I mean, he's the boss. He's the big dog. What are you going to say? But I think in this event, it's going to be really, really tough. I do want to see what Lee does against him, because Lee's definitely a baller, very fast, super quick, and looks like he's got nerves of steel as well. Anish does have a chance. The rest of the field, I don't know. I think you're going to need to ask Hikaru to show up, and players like that, maybe Ding Loren on a good day. But right now, Magnus, to me, he's just always going to be the clear favorite.
Yeah.
Yeah, I think
And
Duda might
go on, Sagar.
Be one of those guys who might be able to spring some surprises, because he was the one who had eliminated Magnus from the World Cup. So I think Duda is, and he's the only candidate, right, in this entire field who's playing. So that's a very interesting player to look forward to.
Yeah, 100%. And I've got a poll in chat running as well after what you guys said that, well, is it always a race for second place when Magnus is playing? Chat, tell us what you think about this. And also speaking about all this drama around the World Championship match, right? We've been seeing it all over the news. Will he, won't he, seems to be the big question. Now, Lawrence, you know him personally at a personal level. What do you think? Is he just trolling us? Will he play? What's really going on there?
No, he's definitely not trolling. I actually did speak to Magnus last time I saw him. We went for dinner and I asked him, because already rumors about him not defending were in the press, and he said he was absolutely 100%. He wasn't trolling about that. I think over the years, the toll of defending the World Championship has actually begun to show. It is an extremely stressful time. You obviously dedicate a huge proportion of your year to preparing for it. You have to invest an enormous amount of emotional energy. And for him, I think there is an important distinction to be made here, though, which is that just because he's not going to potentially defend the World Championship doesn't mean that he doesn't want to play. He's made it clear that he still does want to play competitive chess. He still wants to be the #1 rated player in the world. But just everything that comes with the whole World Championship thing, perhaps he's just, he's just not enjoying it anymore. I don't know. I mean, it's a tough one. I mean, is it better for chess that he remains world #1 and world champion? Is it better for his sponsors? Is it better for this tour? There's a lot of implications when he makes a big decision like this, actually.
What do you mean, is it? The answer is yes, yes, yes. Of course. What are you talking about? Magnus is the rare world champion. You look to world champions to elevate the game of chess.
Yes.
Fischer did it in 1972. Yes. If only Fischer had continued playing, what if he had played Karpov in 75? Yeah. Where American chess, we'd all be millionaires. Yeah. What if Gary had gotten a chance to defend his title against Kramnik? Never happened. Now we're talking about what if Magnus stays in the mix and plays more chess. We want to see Magnus because Magnus has taken chess to the next level, and that's what you want from a world champion. Not that they rest on their laurels and say, I'm the best player in the world. I want to pull the game forward, and Magnus has taken chess to the next level.
Not to deflect too much away from this tournament, because I know Tanya will have more questions about this specific tournament, but let me ask you, Maurice and Saga and Tanya, let me do your job, Tanya, for 1 second. Okay?
Take it away.
Magnus were to defend his title, who is the best opponent for Magnus?
Oh, that's a tough one.
Is it just clear that it's Naka? Is that just
what? Come on, it's for real. It's Fallujah. Like, let's be real.
Above Naka, you think Naka is not a bigger marketable event than Fallujah?
Fallujah, well, it's definitely marketable. I'm not gonna lie about that. Naka has like 10 million followers on Twitter.
This would be the biggest championship ever. No,
it would be big. It would be big. It would get a lot of market.
But I think I want to hear Sagar's thoughts on this as well. But before that, I just want to say that yes, even the Ali Reza story would be huge for the World Championship match. But if the question is who is the strongest player to challenge him, I think that's a different answer. Who's the most controversial? Who's the most a sellable player for the World Championship match? Yes, but I think Ding and Fabi would be up there if you say which is going to be the toughest match. And Sagar, I want to ask you before we move on.
Yeah, I also would love to see Carlsen taking on Fallujah, because that's someone whom we are looking at. And there are all these young talents who are coming forward. And I think if Fallujah wins this candidate and challenges Carlsen, I think Magnus will play it. Because he had said once that, if Fallujah makes it, I would consider playing. Also, one more thing which I really liked, but I found it very curious, was Magnus saying that a lot of importance is being given to his world title. He's being looked at as the world champion, and he doesn't like that he's being, judged as that event as the most important thing in his life. And I felt like, okay, world championship is the main event, right? I mean, you are the world champion, but I think Magnus has many other things also on his mind. He wants to play other tournaments and all of that. So
Yeah. Yeah. And we've got a chat. This is what chat has to say about whether anyone can really be a big challenger in such a format that we have during the Champions Chess Tour. Is it a race for second place? And 66% for yes in our chat, 33% for no. The question around the match now, I know split opinion here, so I'm gonna count till 3, all right? And this is what we're gonna do. We guys have to, whoever believes that Magnus will play the next World Championship match, raise your hands at the count of 3. And if you think that he doesn't want his, that if Magnus will play the next World Championship match, regardless of who the opponent is, because very often we see this happen, whether it's Ali Reza or who he plays. He did a recent interview where he said it just depends on who wins the candidates. Regardless of who the opponent is, do we believe that Magnus will play the match? Raise your hands at the count of 3. Chat, you tell us what you believe in. All right, let's do this, guys. 3, 2, 1.
Oh, Lawrence does not believe.
No, I actually think he's done. I think
Really?
I think
No
if it's
way.
not Ali Reza, I think if it's not Ali Reza and it's not Hikaru or somebody where he, I don't see him doing a Fabiano part. So
Listen, that's a lot of oars. That's a lot of oars,
there's
Lawrence.
a lot of oars. This is why it's very difficult to answer Tanya's question. Just to give a blanket answer. Look, let me put it this way: if Timur Rajabov wins the candidates, it's a no-go.
But here's the thing. Here's the thing that I think you guys have to look at, right? Whoever wins the candidates will be a boss. Like, you don't just win the candidates. You have to show up to win the candidates. The people who win the candidates have given Magnus, except for this latest match, a real run for his money, right? There's no question that this candidate is probably going to be the most watched candidates, the most anticipated candidates in years, because it's going to be the candidates that decide in some people's minds whether or not Magnus plays in the World Championship. And what if Magnus doesn't play? It'll like, we're going to go insane. Our eyes are going to bulge out of our heads if Magnus doesn't play. So I think that this candidate will have so much heat on it that the winner will be the rightful challenger. And if somebody like Ali Reza, and there's an Ali Reza who everybody would like to see, there's a Nakamura everybody would like to see. But if Ding Liren comes out like a boss, how can Magnus not play? I mean, all of China is going to want him to play in that one too. There's going to be millions of dollars on the line.
Yeah.
Well, big questions. We're going to also let chat settle this debate, and we'll come back to the Esports Cup now. But I'm going to just ask chat, will Magnus, guys, this is your question. Will Magnus play the match regardless of the candidates? Yes, no, or you literally don't care. So tell us in chat what you think about this. And meanwhile, now let's come back to the Esports Cup. I know this whole conversation around the candidates, the matches, just, I mean, we've got to have it, right? It's the biggest thing right now for the chess world. What's the future of it? And it's now in June, the candidates start. Early next day is the match. But for now, the players are all set in Oslo. And Maurice, Lawrence, Sagar, let's take a look at the matchups that are coming up in day one. These are the pairings, and I'm going to ask you guys for your predictions and hot takes on all these games. Let's bring up our matchups. Wow. The first one, that's a juicy one. And I'm going to start with Sagar this time. Sagar, it's Magnus taking on Duda. That's quite a hot match. We've seen Duda knock him out of the World Cup in the quarterfinals. There's always excitement when they play the last Charity Cup. Magnus Duda was the final and Magnus beat him there. What do you think about this match and what's your take on it?
I think when you're facing Magnus, one of the things is that you have to believe that you can beat him. And Duda is someone who's done it so many times that he believes that he can beat Magnus on demand also, like when he's in a must-win situation. And also considering that right now the first round is always a little bit wobbly for the world champion, I think Duda has a great chance in this match. So although I might be in the minority here, I think Duda might pull this off today.
Lawrence, your take. Duda might pull it off is what Sagar says.
Well, I mean, you judge people by their track records, right? And Jan-Krzysztof has shown he can fight. A lot is going to be down to, I think, I know this has probably been said many times before, but a lot of it depends on Magnus, right? If Magnus shows up in fifth gear and first class Magnus, he's probably going to win the match. And he's probably going to win the tournament. So the question is it better to play Magnus in round 1 when he's not so warm, when you're both getting a feel for things? Is it better to play Magnus a bit later when perhaps you're in form? I don't really know. But of all the players, to play Magnus, I would say that Jan-Krzysztof is definitely one of the more uncomfortable opponents. I do expect Magnus to win just because he's riding high at the moment. I mean, for goodness sake, he nearly just won the Norwegian Poker Open, which, by the way, has got over 1,000 players, and he's crushing people in a completely different game. And so he's loving life and doing well. So it's not as if he's having any existential crises. So I do expect Magnus to win. But Jan-Krzysztof, if he gets his kind of positions and he gets his dynamic kind of play, he can do it. He's shown he can do it. So I'm very, very curious.
That's an interesting point, Maurice, which Lawrence just made, that very often we see Magnus take his time to, really pick up the momentum in the tournament. So if you've got to play the world champ, is the first round the best time to play him?
Well, I don't like to agree with Lawrence on pretty much anything, but I think he's nailed it. Sagar's nailed it. This dude, Duda, is definitely a baller. He's shown that he can win in very challenging situations. You don't win the World Cup without being a boss. Like you got to show some stuff to go all the way through those gangsters, and he has shown that. And I think about his style, I like what Lawrence said about the dynamic style. That is the style that gives Magnus the most trouble. The positional players, Magnus is like, come on. I've written about 16 different books, at least in my head, on positional play. So he doesn't have trouble with those. It's the tactical ones, the dynamic ones. And Duda has that slippery style where suddenly the game gets chaotic and Magnus could be like, what the heck is happening here? And potential to make mistakes. So he is definitely a competitor in this one. But the one thing I will say is Magnus is all about motivation. That's the word. That's why he doesn't want to play in the World Championship. That's why he needs to set a 2,900 bar as far as rating. And that's why he's looking at Duda saying, wait a minute, people actually think you can hang with me. And you actually hit me hard in one of our matches. So Magnus, I think, will come very motivated, even though it's a slow starter normally. I think for this one, he wants to prove something.
That's an interesting thing you say, because every time Magnus has lost to a player, he's always said beating him once again is just not revenge enough for Magnus. He needs to do it again and again. So big round coming up. And I want the mods on our chat to ask, to run a poll to ask what is their prediction? What does chat think about Magnus versus Duda? What is going to be the result? And guys, enough of the breakdown. What's the result? Is this a Magnus win? Is it a Duda win? Or will this go into tie breaks? Let's ask Sagar first.
Tie breaks. And then
tie break. All right. Okay. So Lawrence, what about you?
I think Magnus actually wins before the tie breaks. I've got a feeling.
Rapid question, Maurice.
Magnus in 4 games.
Magnus in 4 games by Lawrence and Maurice. Sagar thinks it's going to be a Jan-Krzysztof Duda in the tie breaks. The tie breaks are 2 blitz games if it's a tie in the rapid portion. And if the blitz game also end with 1-1, then we go on to an Armageddon. We'll take a look at what chat has to say. Let's bring up our other matchup meanwhile. Oh, that's a nice one. Eric, you were mentioning, Lawrence, you're excited to see him in this roster, is up against Anish Giri. Sagar, your favorite player here. What do you guys have to say about this one?
Yeah, I think Eric, I was just looking at his games in the last Champions Chess Tour, last edition. And he was playing against Vidit, one of the games. And the accuracy of his play was amazing. And he was making his moves so quickly, the play was phenomenal. And I was at that point, like I was commentating and I had engine running down there. I was like, wow, this guy can play at an amazing level when he wants to. So while Anish is a favorite, I think in this match, if Eric can hit that stride, he can really make Anish stretch here. But I would go for Anish.
I think this is a matchup, guys, where at least on paper, we've got a heavy favorite. Maurice.
Yes, indeed. And I think there's something interesting because Eric is just like not considered one of the elite players, super strong. But as Sagar said, he's shown incredible resiliency, depth, brilliance even in his play. And I think he shocked everyone by performing as well as he had. I think a big part of this for him is that it's online. Eric has lived online with the chess bros. Like they've been chilling so long playing online that to play online is easily very comfortable for him. I'm curious to see whether or not being in the physical presence of the players might be a difficulty for him. Will he be intimidated by Anish now that he can say, well, the guy's here, and Anish is looking at him saying, you know what, you're supposed to be food. We'll see. This could be a very interesting matchup. Anish is one of those players too. Sometimes he's the favorite, but he will slip up and make some mistakes. So this one I think is an interesting match. I still think I know who I'm picking as a favorite. It's got to be Anish.
All right. Now, Lawrence, you know, Anish, such a tough player to beat. Where do you think Eric can find that chink in his armor? Where can he strike when you're playing against somebody like Anish?
It's a very good question, actually, because really you hit the nail on the head. He's a very, very tough player to beat, Anish. And in this particular case, I mean, Eric does do well in certain positions. He's a tricky customer, actually. I think Eric needs to make it a bit of a dogfight. You don't want to make it too dry against Anish. Anish, don't get me wrong, is a perfectly good tactician. He's a bit underrated, actually, in that sense. But you don't want these really technical positions against Anish. I mean, especially with black, it's just really, really bothersome to play against him. He just grinds you down, and you don't have any chances. So I think Eric needs to keep something alive in the position. He needs to keep chances. Even if he has to play something slightly dubious, I think that's his best way. But as Sagar said, you look at some of his games. I mean, shocking, actually. I give Eric a lot of people that follow me know I troll Eric a little bit. There's a bit of, the odd.
Everybody trolls Eric.
Yeah, but I mean, we give him a bit of stuff, right? Because, he's there to be trolled. He's with the chess bras and he trolls and whatnot. But actually, I think he's massively underrated as a chess player. Like, let's just be honest for a second. He is a really, really good chess player. And he showed he can hang. He can hang with the best. So it wouldn't surprise me if Eric won this match. And I know Sagar and Maurice have gone for Anish. I'm going to be the contrarian. I'm going to say Eric wins it in the tiebreak. He survives the tiebreak and he jams one with the white pieces and gets it.
All right, so it's Sagar and Maurice saying that it's going to be Anish and Lawrence with Eric. Now, chat thinks 76% to Magnus as a favorite in the Magnus Duda match. Let's ask chat what they think about this one. I actually think you guys are underestimating Jan-Krzysztof Duda's chances against Magnus. 73% to 27, that's just... No, 76 to 23, that's just underestimating Duda way too much, I think. Isn't it?
Yeah.
I think so.
Yeah.
If you gave me the odds, I could get 3-1 or 4-1 on Duda. That's a good bet. I'm telling you,
very
that
good bet.
is a good bet. So that's way out of whack.
Yeah, 23% is a chat. I think you're off the mark there. All right, let's bring up our next matchup that we've got, and this is a fun one. Let's have that on our screen and take a look at this. It's Jorden versus Pragg. Now, we saw Pragg perform incredibly well in the Athens Masters, the first event of the tour, where he beat Magnus as well. He's been having a phenomenal run the entire year. Reykjavik Open, he finished second at another open tournament, a very strong tournament in Spain recently, and now he is currently in Oslo. He's playing against Jorden, and I have to say that this one is super close, guys. Your take on this one?
Yeah,
Sagar.
I have a feeling that Jorden has not performed well against Pragg recently. Like, for example, in the last event itself, Pragg beat Jorden, and that too in a stunning game. It was some kind of an isolated pawn, and he launched a great attack. So Jorden knows what Pragg is capable of, and Pragg, on the other hand, is in this phase of his life right now, where he's just enjoying all the experience that he's getting. He won the Reykjavik Open, and he's like in Oslo with all these top players. I think Pragg is going to have a great event here. And I think he'll start off this with a win. That's what I feel.
That's Sagar, what you just said, really strikes me because when these players just started on the tour, these youngsters, we had the Challengers Tour, and very often we saw them qualify for that previously for the Champions Chess Tour. We spoke so much about how they're fighting for experience.
Yeah.
But I just feel that the way they've been playing now, it's not just about experience for them. They're actually looking for blood now.
Yes, I think this is the thing that Champions Chess Tour has done, and I think it's a huge thing because I remember Arjun Erigesi, who is a young Indian talent now, who's everyone is talking about, got into stride because of Champions Chess Tour when he played that match against Aronian. And now, once again, Pragg has got so much opportunity here playing these top guys. I think it's a boon for these youngsters. I mean, amazing.
Maurice, your pick for this match, Jorden or Pragg?
Well, listen, Indian chess used to all be about Anand and only Anand, right? Then we saw the rise of a couple of other names, but the youngsters now have taken over. Like they're the ones everybody wants to talk about. I mean, there's no question about it that as we see these youngsters, they're not even like when you talk about experience. I feel like Pragg has been around for like 20 years, and he's only what, 16?
He's 16.
The kid is now a vet. He's not afraid. There's a friend of mine, Ernest Colding. He used to say, you got to beat them when they're young. You've got, when they get old, you've got to have some kind of psychological edge on them because they're going to turn into sharks. The kid has turned into a shark. He is now very, very confident. And I think everybody starts to look over your shoulder when you see somebody like Pragg. And for me, I think that it's definitely sort of a pick him in this match. But the way Pragg has surged, you got to go with the person in form. And I'm picking Pragg for sure.
Not just you, 61% of chat says it's going to be Pragg, and Lawrence only 38% for Jorden. You look at these kids, right? We call them kids, but as you mentioned, they're sharks already. And I don't know whether to be more inspired by them or to feel just so bad about my life. Lawrence, what do you think about
That's because you feel bad about life in general, Tanya. It's not always about you.
That's another conversation altogether. With Lawrence, your pick on this one.
Yeah, I'm going to have to side as well. I think this is a terrible pairing for Jorden round one. Jordan's a bit not rusty, I want to say, because he hasn't played as much as Pragg. Pragg been playing all over the place. By the way, him, Nihal, Erigesi, Gukesh, these guys have been just literally carving through Europe. I mean, winning our tournament after tournament after tournament. I mean, it's just been non-stop for months now. I've been covering it every week. He's high on confidence, and there's nothing more dangerous than a top talent, young talent who's confident. This is the problem. Fearless confidence, prepped up to the eyeballs, good at rapid. I mean, I actually think this is actually, I think Jorden would have done better against a more solid player first round just to get into the groove, just, to get his feet warm, but playing against a red hot, terrible pairing for Jorden, I think Pragg wins, and I'm actually going for a very surprising Pragg massacre. Actually, I think Pragg just wipes this guy off the board, and I want Jorden to do well. I'm a big Jorden fan. I'm a huge Jorden fan, but Pragg, it's been so. I'm really looking forward to going to Oslo. I'll just put this in. I looked at a photo of Pragg, and I was like, wow. It's been a long time since I've seen Pragg. It literally, the last time I saw him, he was 2 foot shorter. He still used to bash me up. Don't get me wrong, but he's now yay high, and he's growing. Into
Lawrence, bashing you up at chess still doesn't mean anything. Let me just.
That's true. That's not a real accomplishment at all. But you're right. You're right.
Saying, right.
Yes, absolutely.
No, 100%.
But let's give respect to Jorden. Listen. We're acting like it's already a coronation. We do have to give a little bit of respect to Jorden. He did show that he can win Vikings. He's got the talent, but I just wonder if he's got the confidence. That's the key word here: is the confidence. Does he have that to say? And I want to prove to you knuckleheads out there, but he's got a lot to prove. He's got his hands full.
Yeah, I think
so. Maurice, what you're saying is that sorry, go on, Sagar.
No, I would say when it comes to opening preparation, Jorden has the most creative ideas out there. I mean, that's why he was on Magnus's team as well. So I think it's going to be all about if Pragg cannot handle the openings, Jorden might just score some quick wins as well. So
That's a really good point, especially with his camp. And I think we've heard all of them say, everybody who was at the camp for the World Championship, that Jorden was the one with the most fun ideas. And in such a format, if you can surprise your opponent early on with something that's a bit offbeat, that's always tough to handle. So, Murray, someone in chat is saying that what you're saying really is that Pragg is your favorite, but it's not going to be that smooth.
That's right. Smooth is the key. Smooth is the word. Get my book about the word smooth coming soon. But listen, there's something that is really important to note. And I know this is going to sound a little bit strange. When you start becoming an opening theoretician, the people who support world champions in openings, you sort of kind of stop being a sharper player. I know he's still young, but you can't just be about opening ideas. It's about taking your sword out after the opening and chopping people up. And that is the real deal. So when I hear the abstract talk about good opening play and all that, here's your nice position. Now take this beat down. That's the challenge for Pragg. He's got to be confident. And if he doesn't get the opening he wants, will he be that confident as well? I think Pragg will be the one who's going to be pushing him all the way in this match.
All right. So that's all three of our panelists saying that this is going to be a Pragg match. Of course, we'll see what happens. It's 4 rapid games. If it's a tie, then it goes into Blitz. And if that's a tie, then into Armageddon. We've got one more matchup to discuss. So let's quickly bring that on. And this one's, wow, Shah against Liem. Now, Shah, we know that his aggressive style, absolutely killer attacking chess, which is so tough to handle in a short time control. But Liem as well, he's such a speed monster. What is your take on this one? Lawrence, let's start with you.
I'm going to say something that I'm going to really not enjoy saying. I've been really disappointed with Shakhriyar Mamedyarov. I think he's been way below par for far too long now. He had a great time a few years ago it was the candidates. I was actually commentating here in Berlin 2018. He really nearly came close to actually winning that candidates tournament. Since then, what does Shah actually, I mean, really, and I like Shah a lot. I saw him in Warsaw for the World Rapid. I think he's a great guy, great dude. This is nothing personal. I really like him, but chess-wise, for me, he's been really underwhelming. And Liem, by the way, is he's one of these guys that just hangs around, and he's a really tricky customer. He flies under the radar somewhat. People just underestimate him. And I don't really know why, because he can really do it. And if you look at the earnings from the tournament this far, you see Shah pretty much at the bottom of the table. I mean, maybe he's second bottom or third bottom, I can't quite remember, but he hasn't put in a memorable performance unless, and you guys can correct me now, Sagar, you follow this as well very closely. Tanya, you tell me the last time Shakhriyar won a tournament or came close to winning it, because I can't remember. So I think these patches, winning and losing, at some point they have to be broken. Until they are broken, though, you go with the other guy. It's a bit like in any sports, as Maurice will tell you. When basketball teams are on a losing streak, or when NFL teams are on a losing streak, or whatever, it can just go on forever. And then there's that one tournament where they have a decent result, and the momentum shift happens, and then suddenly they start winning again. And until that happens with Shah, I'm going against him, and I'm saying that this particular match might be slightly different actually, because this might actually be a bit of not a great pairing for Le Quang, but I will go with Le Quang anyway. I'm just going based on form and how I perceive to be the form.
Liem did go into the finals of the first event and into the semifinals of the second one.
Exactly.
So he's definitely been in form. Sagar, Maurice, would you agree with this, that Shah's been struggling and Liem might be the favorite in this one?
Yeah, Maurice.
Well, listen, Shah, the big shark, you want him to do what he's shown that he's capable of doing. His style is the old school, come get you, take you outside in the backyard and put the paddle to you. That's him. He's not a finesse guy. He plays extraordinarily creative chess, and you got to love it when you see him go after it and play those brilliant games. The problem is he hasn't done that in a while. He just hasn't been able to show that with any kind of consistency. You talk about it here in the Champions Tour. I've watched him for years now in the Grand Chess Tour. And on the tour, he, again, underwhelming. As Lauren said, that's the word. You've been like, come on, man, do some damage, make some noise, show your stuff. And he has admitted himself he's not very good at rapid and blitz. He prefers classical chess. And so the faster the time control gets, the more his nerves start to get to him, the more he makes errors. And you don't want to do that against Quang. This guy is he's a speedster. The great moves come out his fingers. He could be on his back under a train, and he will come up with great moves. The guy is incredible. So I think this one, to me, is an easy pick. Quang is clearly the favorite. Shah can show himself sometimes. Sometimes he can show brilliance and dominate. But in this, just face-to-face, head-to-head, I got to go with Liem.
Chat is pretty split down the middle, 54% to Shah and 45% to Liem. What do you think, Sagar? Are you going with what Maurice and Lawrence are saying, or do you think it's a bit closer than that?
Yeah, I think it's going to be a clash of styles because Shah has such great creativity when he plays on the board, like that G4 in the opening, D4 and F6, C4 and then G4 and all that stuff. He comes up with all these new ideas, and Liem is one of those players who never really goes out. He plays by the book. He has a very solid opening repertoire. I think he also is very, very solid in that sense. Even when he attacks with some base in mind. I have never seen him going like completely berserk. So I think it's going to be a great match. And just because Maurice and Lawrence are, completely like on Quang's side, I'm going to choose Shah here. So, I would love if Shah wins. That would be a more entertaining match, I think.
All right, so lots of excitement coming up. Guys, we're going to have to wrap up this pre-show. It's been fantastic having you. We've got about 7 minutes to lift off, so it's about to start any moment. Thank you so much for joining us and all your thoughts. This was super fun.
Yeah.
Thanks, Tanya.
Thanks, Tanya.
See you.
Thanks, Sagar. Bye-bye. Thanks, Lawrence. Thanks, Maurice. Chat, we are going to have liftoff in just a couple of minutes. We're going to go into a short break and be right back as Peter Lecco joins us.
Okay, guys, now it's on ChessBase India, and this is the tournament that we are looking at. It is the Oslo Esports Cup, and we have some of the best players in the world playing. Magnus Carlsen, Duda, Quang, Liem, and we also have Erik Hansen, Jorden van Foreest, Anish, Giri. Wow, that is going to be so exciting. We'll finally get to see Anish, Giri in action. We also have Shakhriyar, Mamedyarov, and the one and only, the little Pragg over there. And this tournament has a very interesting format because it's going to be matches. There will be 4 matches. I'm also going to show you something very interesting right now. Look at this. Hi guys, hi. Above me, you can see the video from the venue where they are going to be all in one place, but they're still going to face each other on the computer screen. So that is a very interesting kind of a thing, because generally if you are on the computer, then you will be in different location, right? But to be in the same venue, it's like that esports thing, no? These great matches that we have, all these other esports, they have this feeling. So that's what we are going to see. And guys, I have a new thing to share with you. Look at this. We've bought a new bookshelf. And so making the house a little bit better and, organizing things, and the bookshelf, I thought, I can buy more books and put it, but the bookshelf is already full. Well, pura hi ho gaya already. So I think I'll have to buy a new bookshelf. Looks great as a background, says Keith. Yeah, actually, if I put it entirely as a background, that might be better. But we're just moving around a little bit in the room. And guys, today Amruta will be joining me for commentary, and there will be a lot of action. I'll be giving you a lot of positions to solve, like, you have to give me the answers. It's going to be a lot of fun today. So put a CBI logo in the background, says Abhishek Anand. That's a good idea. Acha, Alok Vardhan is saying, I was thinking that bookshelf is green screen background. Arey, nahi, it's real background. And I have so many books now. I couldn't believe, like, my house was littered with books. So we got a bookshelf and we started collecting the books and started putting inside them. And before we knew it, pura hi bhar gaya. So the bookshelf has some depth. So you're thinking ki piche we'll put all the books which we are not reading, and then we'll do that. When will the first game start? Jacob Thomas says in 3 minutes at 9:30. As we saw the pairing list, it is Duda versus Magnus, Anish versus Eric Hansen, Jorden van Foreest versus Praggnanandhaa, and Mamedyarov versus Quang Liem. And yeah, this is going to be great fun. I was in Chennai, by the way, guys, day before yesterday, and I just came back yesterday for the Olympiad. That is all the preparations that are going for the Olympiad, and I was so amazed to see the preps. They are working really, really hard. Jaideep says 2 great books that I see my great predecessors. Yes. When I was a young player, these books were not available in India, and so my uncle, his name is Tushar, he sent they sent it from the US. The date is 31st August 2006, and I was reading this book and I was like, wow. I was 16 years old. I couldn't understand most of the analysis. I used to feel like, arey yaar, kafi boring hai, matlab bada book hai. But now when I read these books again, I find them so exciting. Look at this. Here's a message. Dear Sagar, we are so proud of you. Congratulations on all your achievements. More importantly, we are proud of your dedication to your sport and your passions. Keep them alive forever. Hope this book helps you through challenges in chess. Maybe we can discuss one of the case studies in the book next time we meet. Yeah, this was by my uncle and their children. And one book, generally a good book, can be such a good gift. This was in 2006, and then I got all these plastic and packed it very well, and it's with me 15 years later in pretty good condition. So guys, always try to think about gifting someone a book. That should be a good idea. But for now, it's all about to begin. Yes, the games are going to start. So let's get cracking. 1 second, let me see. Whose game should we look at first? Of course, we are going to look at the game of Praggnanandhaa versus Jorden van Foreest. Ooh, I should have made some arrangements for, Kiska's points, how many points someone on and all of that. Okay, slowly, we'll do it. Now I have 2 screens, so I can, let's pin Pragg on the screen. Whoa, look at Pragg there. Look at the quality of the camera. Pragg is like, I don't need the earphones, man. What should I listen to? It's like, okay, chalo dalte. Everyone's putting something on the earphones. Why don't I? By the way, guys, our aim today is to reach 899k. Not making a huge aim. Just 267 people need to subscribe. Please do like the stream. Also, I'm going to add his opponent. No, we'll check everyone's games. Of course, we are going to not just focus on one game, but we'll Jorden. There you have it. Wow, look at Jorden. Super sharp. D4, knight f6, Pragg with the black pieces. It has begun. Okay, let's. And it is. What's the name of the opening, guys? With this, what is the opening that has been played on the board? Nimzo Indian, absolutely right. This is the Nimzo Indian defense. Well done, all of you who have guessed it right. Urvin Savla, Shreyansh Pandey, Avnish Agarwal, Pranjalya Tiwari. And look at this. He played Queen C2, which is the classical variation. And now, after castles, here, the one line is to play A3 and provoke black to take. But Jorden goes for the sharpest line with E4. You get the center. So D5 was played, hitting the center again. E5. And where does Pragg move his knight? Does he go to D7 or does he go to E4? What do you think, guys, in the chat? Where does he go? Ahmed Suleiman says, Sagar, I want to volunteer for Chess Olympiad. I am from Chennai, but I am not registered in FIDE or AICF. तो कर लो ना AICF में registered Ahmed Suleiman. It's just like, I don't know, it's not a big amount. Do it. Yes, it goes to E4. Correct answer. Puneet Bohra. This is where you put your knight in the center. Bishop D3, now putting pressure here. But Pragg is like, let's hit the center. That's the main move. Knight to F3. He takes on D4. Knight takes D4. And now knight comes to D7. Quietly putting pressure here. He goes bishop to F4. Defending the E5 pawn. And now comes a very interesting move. Queen to H4. And joining us all the way from the bedroom. From the living room. Hello, Amruta.
Hello. Hi, everyone. Long time no see.
Amruta, please come inside the camera. Everyone's waiting for you.
Praggnanandhaa versus Van Foreest, and we have how many subscribers, Sagar, right now? 898, 743.
Amruta is like position वगैरह बाद में देखेंगे. पहले subscriber कितने हैं बताओ.
हाँ.
So, Amruta,
Yes.
our aim is today 899k. ठीक है?
बस. कब से इतने छोटे
नंद
छोटे
किशोर से पानी भरा कि नहीं सागर भाई?
Hi. Oh wow, guys in the chat, मतलब पूरा ही active है क्या आज?
हाँ,
Today?
very very active.
So you are gonna ask them a lot of questions.
So Queen H4, Amruta, this is a main line in this opening, and G3 was played. You go Queen H5, ठीक है? And white castles. So now my question to all of you is, how can black play a very very dangerous move in this position, which is the most active one? And I'm going to use my chat chess moves for this. Let's see how many of you are able to find.
And how many of you can guess the move because Sagar says the word dangerous?
And how many of you can guess the move because the live board already shows it?
Oh, I didn't see it.
Actually, this move, Amruta, G5 is the correct move.
Exactly.
And
But that move, you know, because you said dangerous, इसीलिए it was supposed to be guessed. Otherwise, the natural consideration for me was knight d c5. But anyway.
no, that's an interesting move. Knight d c5. But if you play your knight to c5, then I'll play bishop e2. And surprisingly, the position becomes very, very dangerous because I attack your queen.
Yeah.
And next move, let's say I go here, then I have all sorts of threats. Like I can take. If you now take with the knight, then I can go bishop d3, pinning here and threatening f3. And suddenly the bishop on b4 is looking very silly.
Oh, the assessment was somehow not so easy, I would say.
Yeah, so actually with castles, what has happened is that now the knight on c3 can move. With your move
Got
knight c5, you are allowing this and to take here. So
Got it.
you need to be direct. g5 is the correct
And
move.
did Pragg play that?
Yes, Pragg, of course. I mean, that's all theory, Amruta. So
Nice.
just to show all, the right answer was given by Pranay Gupta, Abhigyan Sinha.
Ashik, Misadam, Aman Khinwasara, Akshay Agarwal, Divyansh, Manoj SS, Ekam Deval, and Meera Tripathi.
Yeah, let's go back. So after g5 was played, Jorden goes cd. And Jorden says, if you take on f4, then I will take your knight on here. By the way, this is a line, Amruta. D takes e6, attacking here. F takes e6, knight e4, and this crazy line knight e5, and all of these things happen. This is theory.
I mean, Van Foreest did not enter in this line, assuming that Praggnanandhaa would be very well prepared. I would say.
Oh, by the way, in that scene you went out of frame. Can you come a
Which
little this
scene?
side? In the, I think the chat chess moves frame. You're there.
ठीक है. थोड़ी बाहर जा रही है.
ऐसे आना है. So after cd5, Pragg decided to take on c3. Okay. So Jorden took back. Now Pragg here.
GF4.
No, if you take gf4, then the same thing again.
Bishop
Take, attacks here, then this I will take next move. It's a complicated position, but it seems like white is doing pretty okay here.
ठीक है. We will come back to this sometime in the break, maybe this crazy line.
But what happened is after b takes c3, he took ed5, and Pragg was expecting the bishop to move away. But you know what happened? What a move.
G4. What happens for queen takes G4?
No, this is, I think, this is a novelty by by Jorden. You look at his time, 16 minutes. Pragg is on 11 minutes.
But crazy, you are simply giving a pawn just like that. That too with a check. And Pragg is also not taking it.
Yeah, Pragg could have taken it, Amruta. But after takes, bishop g3, the position is not so easy to play because, see, I have a threat f3 to win your knight. Okay. So what do? If you take here, then I'm going to take with my f pawn. I will open up my rook. My knight can jump to f5. Your h7 pawn is weak.
Got it.
So black is better.
Okay.
Yeah. If you don't take, I'm threatening f3. So logically, you might want to move back. And then maybe knight f5, putting pressure here, something what Pragg might not have liked. I don't know. I mean,
yeah, it's I'm still trying to sink in, this fact of just giving up the g4 pawn taking, and it's still not so clear, pretty complicated. So
Pragg goes queen h3, and Jorden now moves his bishop away to g3. And I think what Pragg has thought, Amruta, and this is a very brilliant kind of a thought process, is that Pragg wants to keep his h7 pawn protected, and he wants to take on g3, f takes g3, and now
knight takes e5 maybe.
Yes, take on e5, attacking the bishop, attacking this pawn.
Knight f5, or no, maybe bishop f5, something.
But whatever you do, I'm going to take on g4.
Anyway.
Yeah. So
but
this
the material is what? 6 pawns for black, 5 pawns for white. So black is a pawn up.
Right. So this is the thing which makes this game interesting. And after bishop g3, Pragg is now thinking about what to do. Should we look at another game?
Yes. Just one recommendation, Sagar. I think you should sit this side and my chair should be on that side. Because it's very difficult for you to make the moves.
No, it's fine.
Huh?
We'll see after this one round. Let's do.
Or you take this.
Okay. Let's go to Anish Giri's game. Anish is playing against Eric Hansen and Anish versus Eric. Very interesting game. Anish is white. Opens with e4, e5, knight f3, knight c6, Rui Lopez on the board, a6, bishop a4, knight f6 castles, bishop e7, closed Rui Lopez, rook e1, b5, bishop b3, castles, a4, anti-martial, yeah, Amruta, because if you go c3,
There is
here,
D5.
there is d5 with the martial attack. So a4, bishop b7, these are all the names of the opening guys. d3, and this line is so much in fame because of the
Because of the what? Why is it in Magnus played?
I will ask the chat. Yes, Carlsen match. Black Panda, very good. World Championship match
Yeah.
between Carlsen
So
and
I
Nepo.
told you, no, Magnus.
You're right, you're right.
Okay, but that was a guess. Of course, just a guess.
By what guess you came to Dubai or we went there, we were sitting there.
Yeah, but openings, how do you expect to remember? After that, we went to World Blitz and World Rapid, and so many games happened. Like literally so many games. So
There is Vishy Anand who comes on streams and remembers game from 1982, 1970 in like a flash. And here is Amruta who went to Dubai.
so that's why Vishy
6
is a
months
god,
ago.
you know?
So c3 was played, queen d7 by Eric, connecting the rooks, bishop to g5, knight a5, bishop a2, c5, knight d2. Slowly Anish finishing his development, takes on f6, bishop f6. So here's my question to the chat. Black has the bishop pair. White has one very nice juicy square that he is looking at in the position. Which is that square? Anda Burger is saying Amruta was there for clips.
Ah, look. Yeah, actually, I forgot about that, right? So how will I remember?
Oh, nice. Chat is super strong, yeah, Amruta.
But there is
D5.
still a confusion between d5 and f5, Sagar.
Yes, f5 is not 100% a weakness because I can always play g6 and control that square, while d5 there is no pawn that can protect this square. So that's the reason why Anish took, and now guys, what is the move for which you will train one of your knights to reach here? Come on, let me know in the chat what is that move.
Hypernova, Aman Khinwasara, Prachi Joshi, Suyash Vasishtha, Supercom, Shreyas Karthik, Aniket Narayan Biswas.
So many people have found this idea, guys. Amazing. You know, when the d5 square is weak, this is a very typical motive, Amruta. Knight f1 to e3 to d5, and that is what Anish is doing now. So c4 was played, and from there knight e3, rook fc8, and queen to e2 was played, putting pressure, so much pressure on the c4 point. I like White's position here. What do you think, Amruta?
Yeah, that's what I'm seeing. C4 pe, there are 4 attackers for White right now.
1, 2, 3, 4.
Yeah, and Black has 3.
1, 2, 3.
So fourth, matlab he can either go something like Queen e6 or Queen c7, right?
Yeah, Queen e6 you don't want to put in this diagonal.
And Queen c7, that d5 square in future again, you know, can be little bit
you
more
can
like
take,
tempo.
and you can, now your e4 pawn is hanging, so you can go bishop b1, bishop c2, and slowly, you know, you can start creating play here. H4, maybe g3, king g2, rook h1, hg4, hg5. You know, this is a very typical Rui Lopez like positions where very quietly White tries to launch an attack. So let's come back to this game in a bit. Quickly, Amruta, shall we check the game of the one and only?
Praggnanandhaa.
No. Magnus Carlsen. We haven't seen Magnus yet.
Oh yes, especially after his so many articles, yeah.
No, not his articles. I mean, you mean articles on him
Yeah, articles on him.
about the World Championship, right?
Yes, exactly.
You know, I had this pre-show with Tania, very nice show with Tania, Lawrence, and Maurice.
Yes.
And in that, they were talking about Magnus's not playing the World Championship match. And Tanya
was
asked
it a
all
debate?
those who think that he will play, raise your hands. And Tanya raised, I raised, and Lawrence raised. And Maurice raised. But
Oh.
Lawrence, who's good friends with Magnus,
Yeah.
didn't raise. And he
Yeah.
said that, the chances are very bright that Magnus will not play the World Championship.
Exactly. Unless
But-
he has said in the World Championship interview that if Ali Reza
Yes.
wins the candidate, then he may have to play.
Is Magnus frozen or what has happened?
Meditating.
No, he's something is wrong with
The
this.
camera is a little bit slow.
But you know, Amruta said this very interesting fact, and I think I kind of agree with her. Couldn't say it on that stream, like I didn't get a chance. Is that in 1972 when Fischer Spassky match happened, and Fischer was asked to play that match. Fischer was always creating some or the other reason for not to play. And then finally someone by the name Jim Slater, I hope I'm getting their name right, he came and he put in a lot of prize money.
Okay.
And then Fischer somehow, and also I think Henry Kissinger called him. He was the Secretary of State at that point. And he said that please go and play. And that's when Fischer went and played. And I think with Magnus, maybe somewhere he's hoping that him not playing will lead to situations where the prize money will be given, increased and stuff like that.
You really think so? I mean, if that happens, in general, that's a good thing. But I still don't think, because when Magnus says something that he doesn't want to, I don't think you can convince him.
Let's see. I mean, it's an interesting thing to look forward to
Yeah.
in the world of
Also,
chess.
money would not be something which would really excite him.
No, it's not. See, they don't look for
Oh,
money.
Carlsen, who played?
Magnus.
Magnus Carlsen. Wow. Amazing.
Amruta was like, so Sagar, where do you want to go on a date? Okay, nice. Where? Oh my God, Paulson, my opening that I'm playing since I was a young kid. Sicilian Khan.
And Magnus has played it. I mean, right? Magnus has played this.
Yeah, Bishop D3, Bishop C5. By the way, Amruta
Wow.
has exclusively played this opening whenever someone has played E4. By the way, we have a member, Kimaya. Thank you for becoming backer of Indian chess. Thank you so much.
Thank you, Kimaya.
Knight to B3.
And yeah, this Bishop C5 is quite a hatke line. That kind of newly. But Queen G4 and all he didn't play, yeah?
No, he went
Because
Queen E2,
That's
Knight C6, Bishop E3, quickly exchanging, D6, Knight to C3, Knight F6, F4, B5, A3. All good, yeah, Amruta?
yeah, looks so. E5.
E5.
Oh.
Actually, A3 looked a little slow, right, over here, but he played it to stop B4, and then Magnus now strikes with E5.
This is very important in this Sicilian. The timing for a E5 and D5 is extremely important, and generally that's where people mess up, including me.
So now White has nice space,
Mm-hmm.
but if Black gets a successful D5, he would be doing very well.
Yes, absolutely.
But to play D5 is not possible as of
At
now,
least until the king is on E8.
because after take, Queen takes, there is long castle. There's also Bishop E4, I think, but long castle looks very strong. And now I have pressure here, Bishop coming here.
Yes.
So this cannot be played. So D5 is on the cards, but you can't play it so soon. So Magnus goes Knight D4, the best move in the position.
Okay.
takes, and actually
Oh.
Duda had to move his queen to e3 or maybe f2 or d2, but he played takes.
Queen f2. Why? One second. Why did he not go knight d5 there? Just to understand.
But then I can
Oh,
just
it's lost.
take, and now guys,
Oh,
black to play.
You
Yeah.
all the time keep giving clues in your questions. This time there is no clue, guys. Please do find it.
The clue is Amruta's. Oh, yes. Please do like the stream, guys.
Yes,
Please.
guys. Do like and do subscribe and
We want to reach 899k. Amruta says that's a very small aim, but I think it's
Sagar ko
not.
dukhi mat karna, guys. Oh, I'm just checking the chat because I just forgot to check the chat. What's up? Shashank, how are you? Yeah, live stream after a long time.
So guys, look at this. Whoa, no other answer.
First time in the history of ChessBiz India live stream.
Super calm.
Aniket Narayan Biswa, Deval Savla, Sai Arvind, Rishi Agarwal, Aman Khinwa Sara. अच्छा इधर है क्या? Okay. Chess codes, Divyansh, है ना other moves भी Sagar?
अब भी आए.
अच्छा.
Yeah, when we said no other moves, then everyone said.
Dynamics, Dynamite, Prajwal Mina Ziggy.
So rook e7 and you lose a piece. I mean, you lose the queen. And if bishop e4, then I can take and I will win this.
And guys, that's a pin. And जिन्होंने भी for all the people who have just started playing chess and trying to learn new tactical themes, you can check out Sagar's video on pin.
You can just type pin ChessBiz India and you will find it.
Yeah. Lord Pegasus becomes the backer of Indian chess. Thank you so much, Lord Pegasus.
Thank you. And by the way, look at this move. After queen f2,
Okay.
Magnus says, देखो, Magnus बोलता है, ये मारूंगा, you are going to take my rook. Correct?
Yes.
But this rook is not so important.
Exchange sack.
So
Petrosian
I will
today.
take.
Wow.
You take here. I will
takes
take
B2,
this.
rook.
And now rook b1.
And now queen a5 check अगर देते हैं.
अरे यार Amruta, this was the question, because if you don't play that, there is no compensation.
Sorry, guys. But I'm sure everybody would have found. Sagar, trust me, सब लोगों को मिलता था. तो अभी explain.
King
Maybe you can
E2.
explain.
No, I mean you have to play this check, because let's assume that I castle here as black. Then white will castle, and then white has now a safe king. He's going to take on b2 and he'll be exchange up. So in the entire calculation, Magnus had this check.
Yes. Basically, king is weak in the center. White's king is going to remain in the center and it's going to take some time. शशांक कदम बोल रहा है नहीं मिलता था. तो हाँ, शायद से ये question होना चाहिए था. But Avinash Agarwal is saying no trust. So, Sagar,
Yes.
you have to say.
No, and Amruta, now the next question is also very important, because Magnus played castles, which was a small inaccuracy. Duda came back, rook e8. He played his rook to e1.
Okay, artificial castling.
And
is
now,
going.
he's going to move his king away somehow like this. And then he will take on b2. And I think the position would be around equal.
But sir, I have a question. Why is castle such a bad move?
No, it's not a bad move, because black has a better move here. And that is the question to everyone here. What should black have played? Very tough. Very
अभी
tough.
पता चलेगा whether Sagar can trust you guys.
No, this is tough. This is tough.
Sagar doesn't
I
trust.
believe the chat will, let's say, बहुत कम को मिलेगा. बहुत कम. In fact,
क्या
very few.
trust है? बढ़िया.
Yes, we are going to Pragg's game next, guys, very quickly after this, but just so that you also are able to see Magnus in action, because everyone wants to see how the world champion is doing.
Yeah. Can I say the move, Sagar? I don't know if it is
Bolo.
the right one, but something like queen a4 I was considering.
What is your idea?
e4 is hanging and queen d4 is stopped. But Yeah, but it looks stupid. Maybe queen takes a3. Yeah, I should simply take the pawn.
No, so queen a4, I can
Yeah.
play this.
Nine.
And if you take here, then I go
Super
rook
lost.
b4,
Acha.
this and this, but after knight
Yeah.
c3 check, king d2, queen a3, rook b3. And then,
And anyway, I lose a piece. So
Yeah.
what was the move? Queen takes a3 maro kya?
no. So the main
Queen
point
takes
is
a3
that
क्यों नहीं?
queen d4 is coming in to win this pawn. So I should stop it. And the move that is right is, oh my god, so many people
Aditya
found it.
Vardhan.
Queen to c3, stopping queen d4, defending the pawn. Next move you will castle, and the right move.
Aditya Vardhan, Divyansh, Rajit Mundra, Vansh Jain, Aniket Narayan, Kamlesh Mugdia, Divyam Vasan, Jacob Thomas, Jaydeep Chakravarti, Bhavan Kalyan.
Well done, all of you. Excellent job.
Sagar, but इधर भी एक question है, if white would have continued with rook e1, let's say going for a simple artificial castle plan, then are you saying castle, king, उसके बाद king f1 and this rook e8, king g1, yeah.
Yeah, and
Now,
then
at
I
this
go
point-
like, let's say h6 or h5, and I
So
will
you just hold on
Yeah.
the b2 pawn
Yeah.
and white's queen on a7 is kind of
you
doing
go rook
nothing.
e5,
Yeah?
maybe you can try to get your bishop out like this. You
Got
can
it.
slowly.
Beautiful compensation. This
Yeah.
is amazing what Carlsen played. Then
Okay.
what happened?
Let's go to.
To
Oh, he's
Praggnanandhaa
taken
game.
down f5. King f1 has been played. Magnus. Now, can Magnus find this amazing move, Amruta?
Again?
d5. You know, this is hanging. Okay, let's say you go d5 and I take e takes f5. But here is
It's
a
again.
very cool move.
Oh,
Take,
wow. Let people
Take,
find it, Sagar.
and now black to play.
Supercomp is saying chat is equal to 2800 plus GM. Sagar got stuck after 2 GM norms. Chat GM बन भी गया. Chat को तो IM भी बनना नहीं पड़ा.
Well done, guys. All those who said Queen E1, absolutely right. Mistadam, Kimaya, Supercom, Chess Codes, Aniket, Manan, Ankit, Ram Gopal, Shabad Jot, and Deepak Kannan. I take on E1, King E1, and make a queen here, and I am completely winning. So that's the reason why Bishop F5. The idea is to play D5 next. So will Magnus find it? We'll see. Let's go to Praggnanandhaa's game very quickly. We were looking until Bishop G3. Pragg did take on G3, FG3. Jorden has opened up his rook. Pragg took on E5, Queen D2, attacking the pawn on G5 here. H6 was played, Knight to F5, Knight takes
knight.
D3. Now this was not the best idea because taking here would have been better. Bishop F5, and then bringing your rook into the game. Black had good chances.
But for Bishop F5, if GF5, then Black could have got G4 and the F3 square may have become weak if
Yes,
in the future.
absolutely. It was a possibility. But here he took here, and now Knight E7 was the key move, Amruta, which I think because here Bishop takes F5 and Black is completely fine in this position, because next move I go Rook A D8, my king is safe, the queen is defending this. But Knight E7 is what Jorden said. Jorden said my knight will live.
Oh, he considers his knight to be a better piece than Black's C8 bishop.
Correct, because
That is interesting.
the reason is that this knight will take on D5 and the queen is out of the game.
Oh, and queen and knight are slightly becoming a little dangerous.
Yes, and after Bishop E6 came a check on the board. F6, oh my god, Praggnanandhaa in massive trouble here because a very powerful move was queen to D3, threatening to come here with a check.
But I would have gone bishop F7, stopping it.
And when you go Bishop F7, I can come to F5, threatening on F6. You are basically playing
I
queen
understand.
down.
Ah.
Queen down in the position. That's the problem. Your
No,
queen.
1 second. I don't give up so soon. Bishop E8 khela, suppose, because I'll get H5, right? H5.
This is one little pawn there. Let's take this. Then I take this.
Rook E7
Then my
is also
rook is
coming.
coming
Yeah,
in.
that queen on H3.
But he played knight F5, and all of a sudden, Pragg is doing okay. I mean, the knight was the key piece.
The only reason why Van Forest was better was the knight.
Yes,
And it's gone, the imbalance is gone.
absolutely. What did Van Forest think when he went for this?
हाँ, and इतना सब करके 97 check he gave. Okay.
हाँ.
So that means that he really understood the power of that knight.
Correct. It's like,
Then what happened?
it's like someone proposes someone, you say no, and then after like, why you're saying no. You're like, I want to become something in life. I want to achieve something. And then after 2 months, you're like, okay, fine, I'm okay. You didn't achieve anything.
ये तेरी story लग रही है. Okay, sorry.
Does that, are you trying to say I achieved nothing in life? Okay, Rook F1, Rook E2, threatening a mate on H2 here.
Cool. So Pragg is back in the game. That is a good news
Takes-
for us.
Rook E5, Queen A4 was played, and now Pragg went Rook F7. Very
Yeah.
cool move, because if you were to take Queen takes A7, then Queen takes G4, Black is better.
That
But-
queen will
but-
finally feel like it's come for some vacation.
He wants to keep the
After
queen
Queen
trapped on G4, but now Pragg is like, let's go, attack the pawn. I'm already a pawn up. If you're black, you're pawn up. So Queen takes D5. The queen escapes. Now clear pawn up. Rook to F5. Queen E2 by Pragg.
And then White's king is in fact weaker if you look at the 7th rank.
Yes, black has extra pawn, safer king, nice pawns here on the queen side, and these are weak pawns. So Praggnanandhaa actually on course for victory against Jorden van Foreest.
4 minutes ka difference. Do
And-
you think it will matter? Yes. Tell me.
I don't think it will matter so much. Look at Praggnanandhaa, yeah? He's put this earphones in his head. He's not even listening to any music, I think. He's just relaxed. And to think about it, Amruta, before 5 moves or before 6, 7 moves, he was dead lost. He was dead lost. It was over. From that, he has made comeback.
Too good, too good. I think the plan is also clear. H5, H4.
H5, H4. Acha. I was not even considering like touching anything of these. I just want to win these pawns. So like, Amruta, I can go Queen C4, trade the queens, put the rook here, put pressure
But I
here,
don't want to go
put
to Rook
pressure.
end game, Sagar.
अरे
Rook
क्या
end
रुक
games
एंड
में
गेम
नहीं
में
जाओ.
क्या रुक जा ओ दिल ए.
Cool, yaar. Praggnanandhaa is going to win this. Let's
Abhi-
hope
abhi
so.
to
Let's
not
go to Magnus's game in the meantime, because did he find a move D5?
First, should we look at quickly Anish's game?
Okay,
Because
or
Anish
Rook end
is
game यहाँ पे भी.
kind of equalish here that is going on. So not a big deal for Anish here. Meanwhile, Shakhriyar, Mamedyarov and Quang Liem looks equalish. But I think White is the one putting pressure here this way. And going to the game, okay, Pragg has played Queen E2. He's still thinking. Magnus Carlsen here after Queen D6.
नहीं, but D5 खेला या नहीं?
हाँ, नहीं, उसने Bishop G6 खेला यहाँ पे. And
D5
then
was a
after
very
Rook
tough
B2,
move.
Queen A3, Rook B4. Suddenly Duda is doing quite okay in the position. Rook to D4. Because Duda is exchange up.
Oh, I forgot that. So the A and the B pawns really need to start pushing.
And also the knight comes here threatening this.
No.
If you move the king away.
Queen D6 पे है.
Oh. Oh.
But anyway, the knight is still a little dangerous. Knight E5, I think H3 will come right now. H3. Kick him away.
Then knight will sit on E5.
Correct.
Okay.
That's still a good compensation, but the bishop on G6 has to do something.
Asim Khan is asking us, Sagar bhai, new camera today, both of you looking very cute.
Thank you, Asim.
Asim,
Reels
if
banana
you
hai
would have
क्या?
said you're looking very sharp because of the camera, I would have even agreed. But looking cute और कैमरा का क्या रिलेशन है यार?
एक्चुअली थोड़ा उल्लू बना चुका है वो तो वो कैमरा में भी दिख सकता है ना.
अभी देखो मैं और शार्प कर रहा हूँ अपने
नहीं नहीं
को.
प्लीज प्लीज प्लीज.
Look at this. We have become sharper.
अरे पर माइंड तो उतना ही है ना अभी.
अरे माइंड नहीं.
अरे सब पिंपल्स.
Okay, let's go to Pragg's game. And so after Queen E2, Rook F2, Queen E3.
No
King
doubt this
G2.
he will convert. ठीक है. So the question is whether you want to go h5 h4 or whether you want to attack those c3 and a2 pawns, right?
See, my thing is ये safe है, ले लो. Your thing is you want to checkmate.
Risk है तो इश्क है.
But why to take risk when you can actually win without any risk? You know, like someone is coming you and saying that here's a nice
Yeah.
fixed deposit we have created with 20% interest, and you are like, no, I want to put my money in some, not crypto, but you want to put it in some good stock, which might, I mean, why to just...
No, I'll tell you why to take risk. So that after the game is over, you know what? I was clearly better, but then I kind of little bit took some risk, and then it was so crazy. And towards the end, I won. Wow. You get a story.
Yeah.
Risk gives you story.
I mean, that's the reason why Pragg is 2600 and we are sitting here and commentating. But Rook C5 is the point, Amruta. You just put pressure here. He's gone C4. Now you don't want to go into Rook endgame because after
Correct.
taking...
The pawns are no more isolated.
Exactly. You improve his structure. And guys, isolated pawns are all alone. No one is defending each other. But when you take, these two become connected. And we don't want to get into such a situation. So Pragg gives a check. King G1.
I play chess says Sagar bhai's forehead is shining brighter than my future.
थोड़ा बाल है तब तक ठीक है. Today everyone like in the
Jaideep Chakravarti is asking 20% in fixed
Arey, that
deposit.
was the point, no, of the analogy. You know, today I was in this pre-game talk show, and Maurice and Lawrence both are bald, right? So I was the one with the most hair.
But what do you... okay.
I mean, I was there with the least rating, but the most hair.
But full bald is better, right? Than
Yeah, they took a...
50-50 or 20-50 or whatever.
Actually, like people who are fully bald, they are generally, you can say,
Smart.
not smart. They take their decision taker. You know, they make brave decisions in life. Like with me, it's more like I don't know what to do, so jo hai wo chala rahe.
Confused.
By the way,
You're
meanwhile,
confused.
F6 is hanging amongst all the talks of balding and all of that. Pragg, I hope he's not distracted. Yes, he goes queen. He's very calm.
So he's simply putting pressure on that isolated pawn, as you had mentioned.
Correct.
Okay, and one rook defends the pawn, whereas he has the king near the weakness, which is always good because one piece is there, whereas his two rooks are tied down in attacking.
Attacking.
मतलब करे भी तो और क्या करे वो.
Unfortunately, I am getting 1 crore rupees tomorrow. Something like that. What? They are attacking. That's good, right? Who is tied down in attack?
अरे but king g7 पे अच्छे से defend कर रहा है ना that way.
So they can always enjoy in defense. But they did not. And now Pragg is 2 pawns up.
Yeah.
And yeah, this looks like
Yeah. I don't think this he can mess up.
clean. Okay.
Absolutely.
Let's quickly go to Magnus Carlsen's game.
Prahalad Guru Prasad says, Sagar sir, I got completely destroyed by Rahil Malik. Oh, awesome, Prahalad. Badhiya. I mean,
He came to Chess Base India Chess Club.
Rahil is an IM, no? So like he got to play with Rahil basically. And yeah.
So queen d2, rook d5, f6, queen e3, queen a5, queen d4, bishop f7. You can see Magnus trying to improve the position of his pieces, but white seems to have consolidated, and I won't be surprised if Duda might suddenly make Magnus blunder here, because look at Magnus's time. He's down to 14 seconds.
Also,
Although
if you look at him, he definitely looks stressed.
Very
Look
much,
at him.
very
Otherwise, he's generally relaxed.
very much, he's very, very stressed right now. Um, what time? Oh, something is gone wrong. Generally, you don't see this errors, yeah, in the broadcast. This is the
Kuch
first
to
time.
hua
Or did Magnus really lose on time? That would be insane.
No, I doubt. I really doubt.
By the way, Anish Giri enjoying himself in this rook endgame with an extra pawn. Although theoretically this should be a draw, White has practical chances. On the other hand, in this position, also it seems around equal. But after Bishop f7, there could be pressure down here. So maybe Quang Liem getting some chances there. Meanwhile, Magnus's game, somehow something is not building up. Let's see what happens. And Praggnanandhaa has taken the pawn on c4, and in this game as well, something has gone wrong with.
So it's सबके साथ हो रहा है मतलब कुछ तो है time का. Something has gone wrong for sure. I agree. Magnus has time pressure. Prahlad Guru Prasad says, thank you for giving me the chance to play 2 IMs. दूसरा कौन था? He played with you.
He drew with me.
Oh, okay. Yeah. Oh. हाँ रे तुम IM ही हो ना?
I don't know what's happened, why the games are not updating. Is this the problem
maybe
in
you
other
can...
broadcasts as well, or?
Yeah, maybe people can let us know. In the meantime, Jaideep says Magnus के होठ ऐसे हिल रहा है कि जैसे कि वो हनुमान चालीसा पढ़ रहा है. He's calculating. It means he's calculating, है ना?
अच्छा, just here. Okay.
Just here. So एक बार update करो या फिर close करके start करो. Refresh. Funny Verma super chats and says, your opinion on Magnus not interested in playing next World Chess Championship. That's what he has asked Sagar. Yes, I think once Sagar tries to update this problem. नहीं problem को कैसे update करेंगे?
I mean,
problem if updated will become even worse. Once he tries to solve the problem.
It's here. We are back.
Yes. So Funny Verma को बाद में wants to know your opinion about in the break.
After this game.
Yeah. Okay, let's see how Praggnanandhaa is converting.
Pragg had taken this pawn. After this h4, rook c3, attacking the g3 pawn. He defends it with king h2. And then, sorry, I forgot to put it on the screen. Sorry guys, boomer OP. Then he went queen c7, rook g2. He went queen to e5, offering a trade. Jorden said, I don't want the trade. Pragg says, okay, your wish, rook ff2, rook e4, hg. So Pragg doing still pretty well after queen d1 has been played. He has to figure out a way to break through, and I think, Amruta, a good idea can be rook f8 to rook h8.
Or king g6 and rook h7.
King g6 and rook, yeah, that's also possible, correct.
But there can be a pin with queen d3. I don't know if you have to worry about that. Also, g4 is a possibility. Still, Sagar, this is kind of a position where during the tournament you can possibly mess it up.
No, I don't think so.
It's like one,
I don't think so.
not Praggnanandhaa. If it was you, that I mean,
I can mess up it. Oh, look at Magnus. He's converted this into a win. We were looking till here, rook d6.
How? He was in trouble actually.
Yeah, he was in trouble. I don't know what happened. King g1, he's completely doing like
takes.
White is doing quite well in this position. No problems. His exchange up.
Oh, the A pawns just started rolling.
Yeah,
Nothing.
a5, c3, a4, a3. And now
Rook
you couldn't even take here because of a2.
And rook
And then
e5
if rook
ko there is
e5,
a check.
a1 queen check, and then I pick up this rook. So he went rook a1, b4. You can't take because your rook is hanging on a1. So king f2, b3. Now if you take here, then after queen c5 check, you lose the rook. So that way he couldn't do. And I think with this, it's all over. B3.
Wow.
Magnus Carlsen has won. Game
This
has
is
ended.
unbelievable.
What a
And we don't even know exactly where White could have, what plan he should have chosen. But Magnus followed a simple thing. If pawns are a compensation, they should be advanced.
correct.
And he just started pushing them,
Correct.
which we had discussed, at some point can happen.
Amruta, how about going into rook endgame now? Rook takes e2. Oh,
He did play rook e2, but White kind
No,
of.
he didn't play. He played rook e4. Acha, it was king g1. He went rook e8. Takes, rook d2.
Now go rook e7, maybe just defend the 7th rank, or maybe queen g4.
Check. Okay, take the queen.
Acha.
Just take the queen and play that.
Rook
endgame.
endgame, 2
What-
pawns up. This
Yeah,
is
just
simple.
take the queen and then rook e3 with rook a3. Then put pressure here. Then bring your king up slowly.
Yeah. Nightbot still remembers Pawn Pushing Industries Private Limited at work.
Nice. Nightbot, we've missed you. Amruta, do you want Ferrero Rocher?
No, not now.
No?
No.
Okay.
But if you want,
We got a gift today, guys.
Kohli Dhoni says Magnus has some unbelievable command in chess. Never seen any other player having this much impact in any game.
I mean, of course, there have been great players in every sport, but yeah, Magnus truly dominates. Take. See, so many moves have happened, and now check king h5. Yeah, looks good. King h5. Why not?
Sagar, one question to you. When did you really study rook endgames? Like very seriously. At which level were you? Were you 2000, 2200 or even before that?
I think I started understanding rook endgames when I became like an IM and later, because before that I was always trying to like study it separately and I didn't understand it so well. But yeah, I tried to study it when I was around 2000 or so, at least
Okay.
some things.
And then you understood after 400 points later.
Yeah, it was like I always had this fragmented knowledge, but could never really understand like when I should push this pawn, when I should push these pawns. So now, I mean, after seeing many examples, things do become a little better.
Yeah. Jaideep says pick a7 and no, if you take
Just
the
play
queen and
a6.
king, if you take the queen and the king takes the king takes and rook e4, but then rook d7. Then what?
No.
Pick a7 and protect a2? Aisa question tha, but I don't know when was that. A little before maybe.
Yeah, here I think the basic plan can be just f4, exchange, rook takes, bring the rook back. So then your two weaknesses, generally, whenever you have like two weaknesses, say suppose like this. So here the okay, rook f3 wins, but I'm just showing the point. This is a weak pawn, this is a weak pawn. So if my rook is controlling both, then I can slowly bring my king over to the other side. But okay, Pragg goes rook c4, king e2. Check. And so right now white is also defending very staunchly with his rook. But this check is a, check is like you asking me, is everything okay? It's like whatever I'll say I'll be in some trouble at some point, in that moment. Like here, if the king had gone up, there would have been different kinds of trouble with rook g2. And if king d1, now rook f2 with the idea of rook f3. So Pragg has managed to really convert this pretty well. And as you can see there, Jorden has resigned the game. Praggnanandhaa has won. Wow.
Well done,
Wow.
Praggnanandhaa. Well done. Amazing. But Sagar, very subtly you have said something.
What?
That check and me asking you if everything is okay, and then anyway it's going to be trouble. I mean, what was that?
No. Amruta,
Huh?
Pragg was at some point completely lost. 97,
Okay.
King G7, Queen D3.
This is a very, very common trick for you now.
What?
Changing the subject.
What is there to change?
F6. Okay.
So,
But that opening Sagar G4 जहाँ पे आया, I would really want to give 2 minutes to that. मतलब मैगी नहीं बनाऊंगी, but 2 minutes.
do you want to go and check on ChessBase board?
Yes, why not? Or no, here also it's fine. Whichever, anything is fine. Just want to check that for a moment.
No, I also want to check on ChessBase board.
ठीक है, then तो ठीक है.
एक second दोस्तों.
I play chess says Pragg be like मौत को छू के तक करके वापस आ जाऊंगा. अमित कुमार सागर डिफ्लेक्टिंग एज अनिश गिरी का क्या हुआ? Is that draw?
Yeah, just
Even if the pawns would be Sagar on F, G and H, I mean, they would not be double pawns. Still, it would be a draw, right? With the C pawn.
yeah.
So A pawn would be a draw, C pawn would be a draw.
So Amruta is, by the way, for all the people who are wondering what Amruta is saying, she's asking that if in such a position, if this pawn was undoubled, right?
Yeah, F2, G3, H4,
Yeah, that's
something
also
like that.
drawn. This is a drawish position, and here the main problem is that, yeah, just for people to understand that after C7, King G7, let's say I wait here, King H3. Now it's very important to keep your king on these two squares only, H7 and G7, because if the moment you go to the 6th rank, the rook can move with a check and next move it queens. And the moment you go to F7,
Yeah,
the game
maybe
is
you can
over
ask.
because of
Guys, let me know. Sir, one of the very nice memories which we have is, do you remember the ChessBase India office where before going to Spain, we were studying the rook endgames with A pawn and FGH pawns.
yes.
So that
I
was
think
a
we
nice.
were looking at this book called Amateur to IM
Yeah,
by Jonathan Hawkins.
yeah,
It
that
was an excellent book. I remember it, Amruta and I studying it very carefully and learning a lot from it. So if you guys have ever wanted a book where tough concepts are explained in an easy to understand manner, then please do check that out. I think it's a great book. Yes, Rook H8 is the correct move. Funny Verma, Saumyadeep Bhattacharya, Rudra Garge, everyone, you're right. Here, threatening this and winning this. So that is. Yeah, and super chat जो पूछा गया था अमृता, what was that question?
Yeah, Funny Verma had asked, what do you think about Magnus's decision?
I think it's not a decision yet, because I feel like when we spoke
I mean,
to him,
Magnus's opinion, I think.
yeah, after the World Rapid and Blitz, he had said that he has a new aim, which is to reach 3000 elo, but then he has not been playing so many classical events, and I think that aim looks slightly difficult to achieve.
But the way it is now starting to get back after COVID,
No, I don't think he will try to attempt it. It's too difficult, Amruta, to play. You will see in Norway chess how he does. He's going to play there in classical chess, but overall he has this currently a situation where he's trying to figure out things in his life. Yeah, let's see. I mean, he's a very different personality. Like, my thinking would be that if you are really good at being the world champion, you should continue it. But
there is so much to do in life, no? And 35 years, 30 years going in something.
yeah, true.
And a person of his intellect can do something in, either in the same field.
Sorry, 2900. Did I say 3000? I'm
Yeah,
very
you
sorry.
said 3000.
Sorry, I wanted to say 2900, of
Right.
course. Of course, how can you reach 3000? No, I was talking about 2900.
Why? How can you reach 3000?
No, reaching 2900 itself is tough.
Yeah,
How about
that's
3000? So I think he's just given up on that thing. Maybe he will try again, but
Or maybe, do you think the rating system can change? Like you can at earn more points than what you're earning because it is going too slow. It's like the maximum, even if you run the fastest, you'll reach 100 meters only. It's
yeah,
like running on a treadmill, even if you.
but I think that's what makes chess interesting, that you don't easily make your rating points.
Easy नहीं बनाना है, थोड़ा easy.
Uh-huh.
Shivshom says, yes, I visited Chessbiz India office. I guess I had taken a book or two, but don't remember which. What a collection of books it had. The day I had gone, I remember there were cartons filled. Oh, you have been to the office. That's nice. 2900 is tough. Yeah.
By the way, this was Praggnanandhaa's game. I have it on ChessBase 16 right now, along with the live database. I can also start it on our mega database here with a reference at the top. And then Queen H4 here. G3 was played, Queen H5. Then Castle was played, 155 games in this position. G5, C takes D5, 96 games. Bishop C3, Pragg is well prepared. B takes C3, 51 games. E takes D5, 78 games. And here in this position, look at this. G4 has never ever been played. Ooh. Ooh. Novelty by Jorden van Foreest. Wow, that is simply tremendous. But where am I? अरे मैं दिख क्यों नहीं रहा? दोस्तों, here I am. Here I am. This is me. G4 is a new move, and after Queen takes Queen H3, BG3, this is how it continued. But yeah, G4. Until that point, Bishop E4 had been played. DE, and yeah, you can't take Queen E4 because the bishop is hanging on F4. So E6, G takes, E takes. This is how it continues, and there are 71 games. 71 games in this position. Chess is crazy. And many of them have ended in draws. Okay, going back, let's talk a bit, guys. How is everything? How is life? How are things going? Also, let me pull up the standings somehow, and we'll be able to follow what is happening. And also, guys, today try to subscribe to ChessBase India. We are at 898, 798. My idea is that we reach 899k. That would be very cool. So if you haven't subscribed, please do so. Sagar bhai, when are you going to Chennai? Rohit, I just came back, no, from Chennai. So can you check what chat is saying?
Yes. Aman Dangi says, Sagar bhai, you made me fall in love with chess. Rohit says, Sagar, Arjun has been drawing his game lately. What do you think about Arjun's chances of 2700 this year?
I think good chances. Also, this Olympiad qualification is definitely making everyone play a lot. But I think Arjun had no reason to play in general. He's already in the team. So he's just playing because he wants to continue playing.
Shivsham says, many even say K40 is too unfair for someone starting, let's say, at 20. Maybe they should keep K20 for all and not K10 after 2400.
It's a huge discussion, Shiv. I mean,
Pranjalya Tiwari says, I still believe that Carlsen has not met his match yet in World Championship. Ding would be a very good challenger and possibly the toughest one yet as well.
I think Firuza. You know, all the people of that age of Carlsen, yeah, I mean, Ding, everyone has good chances. I'm not just discounting, but Firuza comes, he'll come with a new fire, you know, that new kind of a thing.
Amnish Agarwal says, camera gets out focused in between. Just letting you know.
Yeah, I saw that.
Okay,
Okay, by the way,
in
look
the
at
chat
this.
as well.
This is what the scores are, and guys, I'm getting a little bit better at
Handling the computer.
Can you read the scores?
Yes. Duda lost to Magnus Carlsen. Mamedyarov is still playing, no? With Quang.
First game, draw.
Acha, Mamedyarov drew with Quang. Anish drew with Erik Hansen and Van Foreest drew with, lost to Pragg. So only Magnus and Pragg, they both won, yeah?
Yeah.
Okay. Look at Pragg. Now he has changed his headphones. Acha, they can not see them
No,
yet.
now they can see in 3, 2, 1, cut.
Oh, that's cool.
And look at the subscribers. It's like it's going to reach 898, 800, but it's just hung up there and boom.
Awesome. Magnus is opening. Magnus' game has started. Let's have a look at that.
What?
Oh my god, what? Really?
What?
Oh, was it a mount? What? Did you want to play F4? क्या? ये सच है या झूठ?
ये तो सच है कि मैग्नस ने F3 खेला है.
Oh my god. I mean, this is something we have never seen, Sagar.
Magnus is bored.
Great.
My only explanation is that Magnus is bored. What is this? You are playing. You would have had your knight here. Instead of this diagonal is open.
Would Duda feel insulted?
If
What
he
do you think?
loses, then I'm sure he's going to get very upset. But I think Duda is that kind of pragmatic player.
But I think Duda is going to get clearly better.
Yeah, Duda
There
is
no
like,
way
thank you,
that Duda
thank
will
you,
lose.
Magnus, for doing this. I think, look at him. He's just drinking his water.
Did Magnus want to play F4? Has Magnus ever played F4?
No, Amruta, he didn't want to play F4.
He wanted to play F3 only.
Yes. You know, Magnus likes to troll his opponents, and also he has a 1-point lead. But guys, this position, if you look at the bar already,
I'm stunned.
everyone is stunned for that matter.
But you are so cool and calm right now. How can you be? ऊपर से शांति से पानी भी पी रहे हो. मतलब कभी देखा है क्या F3 तुमने ऐसा? Have you ever seen what is the weirdest move you have seen?
I
in the
mean,
opening on top
Magnus
level.
and Hikaru played
Bomb Cloud,
Cloud.
that's different. That was like, draw के लिए था.
No,
This
they
is a
wanted to
proper-
play, but then they both. It was on the spot. They didn't predetermine the draw.
Omkar
you know-
Chakradev is saying theory suggests second move G4 after F3. अरे ओमकार तुमने F3 क्यों study किया है?
Arey, what is?
Really? First, what? He's joking क्या? Okay.
Look at this. Look at this.
Look at what?
He's suggesting this move.
Yeah. Oh.
Amruta is not even thinking about the position. She's like, oh, Omkar has studied all this.
Guys, black to play. Please find a move. Guys.
Yeah, let's have at least 100 people give the answer to this. Let's see.
And Zaire, you remember we have done a reel on this.
Yeah, where you hit me. You've done reels on everything. I'm reeling in life.
मिल गए आंसर्स बट कौन था वो पहला आंसर देने वाला था? इधर है. Ashika Manohar, amazing. You're the first one to give this answer of mate in one. Rishi Agarwal, Bhavan Kalyan, Chess Grounds, Anurag Sanyal, Deepak Kumar, Vandana Chelappa, Sharang Pai, Devansh Wadhwa, and Srinivas Karthik. सारे नए नाम.
Yeah. नहीं सारे नहीं. Some were answering बढ़िया.
Good guys, good.
This is called the Fool's Mate.
तुम्हारी?
Queen h4 and a mate. This is known as that. And but Magnus went knight c3, bishop c5. Actually, Magnus, if he plays f3 and g4 and gets checkmated, that would be like unbelievable, right? And by the way, Magnus goes knight a4. He attacks the bishop.
ठीक है. It तो now seems that he's prepared.
No.
94.
Arey, look at this. No, he thought for 2 minutes.
Okay.
And now bishop takes g1 could be one idea to take and then break in the center with d5. After that, just castle, knight c6. It's an easy position for black to play. Or the other idea can be to just go back. And Amruta, look at this idea. Knight takes e4. So if you take on c5, I'll take back. If you take fe4,
Queen h4.
I give you a check. Now,
Finish.
if you play king e2, I take with a check and I pick up this wayward knight. So what do? You go g3.
Forced. But anyway, queen e4 should be lost,
By the way, sorry guys. King e2, queen e4. I don't need to pick up this because of
mate.
Yes, it's a checkmate.
Sorry, what
It's
what
a
the hell even
checkmate
I was doing.
here. So you have to play g3, and then I take and
Bishop e2, queen takes h1.
this is hanging. So let's say you go queen e2.
But anyway, queen h1. Why will you take the knight?
Yeah, I'll take
Acha,
it.
because our c5 and bishop is hanging. Yeah? Knight takes c5, queen g1.
Yes. And if queen e5, I have king f8, and black is just clinging on.
My Omkar asks, how about bishop g1, rook g1, knight e4?
Bishop g1, rook g1, knight e4.
So he wants to, I think, play
Fe.
fe, queen h4, g3 go, what, queen h2 maybe? Or queen e4 check and queen takes e4 maybe. Either of them, yeah?
Yeah, now I go here.
Queen takes a4.
You take here, I take here. And I think in
you're a piece down and not enough composition.
No, not piece down. It's equal material.
Acha. Right.
And I think white is doing well here because check threatened, also the bishop hanging. If you go knight c6, I have queen d6 check. So I think this would be pretty okay. Meanwhile, let's quickly check also what's happening in other games. Just he goes knight a4, bishop ace e7, and d4 has been played. ed4 has been taken. If queen d4, knight c6, black is getting very quick development. Going to Praggnanandhaa versus Van Foreest game, and oh, look at this, Amruta. Look at the complexity of this position.
Oh, he is playing against the same opponent. No, yeah, the format has changed.
Yeah, format is 4 games. You were reading that score, no?
Right. So Praggnanandhaa, it's a knight d5. Can we see the opening quickly for Praggnanandhaa?
Yeah. Pragg is white. Guys, what is the name of this opening?
अमन डांगी से सागर भाई आपकी एक स्ट्रीम देख के 100-120 एलो बढ़ जाते हैं. CBI OP.
Thank you.
काफी जल्दी तुम्हारा रेटिंग पार हो जाएगा जाहिर.
Yes, it's known as the Slough defense. c4, c6, knight f3, knight f6, e3, bishop f5, knight c3, e6, knight to h4. Very standard move because I want to win the bishop. Bishop g4, queen to b3, attacking the pawn. And here the main idea is always queen b6, but you can always be sure that Jorden will come up with some new concepts always, Amruta. Take knight d7, h3, bishop h5, and now he played g4.
Oh.
And Pragg was expecting Jorden to play bishop g2, g6, knight takes g6, hg6, and then bishop g2. And after this, c6 is weak. White is doing very well. In fact, white has a close to winning advantage. But here, black played a very good move. And guys, I want you to find it. Black to play. What would you do in this position? See, your bishop is hanging. If you move there, as we just saw, take and bishop g2 is better for white. But what did Jorden play? Yes, Jorden played this very, very nice move. Knight to d5. Fantastic job, guys. Knight d5. Because now, Amruta, I'm attacking your knight. Actually, first, not directly because the queen will take the rook. But first, I'll play rook b8, attack the queen, and then pick this up.
Ah, right. That's important intermezzo. By the way, we have a new member, Suman Chaudhary.
Thank you.
He has
guys.
become the backer of Indian chess.
So, guys,
Thank
for the
you.
membership, we have been supporting one talent every month from December 2020. It's been now over a year. We've supported so many good players. They have achieved so much. And we have funds of Jan, Feb, March, 3 months, which are still pending. And I have found talented players who are in need of these funds, whom we are going to support in these 3 months. I'm going to tell you about them in this tournament. So whenever I will stream in the evenings, I'll let you know. But always the YouTube membership fund, which we have, this has helped us tremendously to power chess in India. So I really want to thank all the members who are here, who are watching this. Really a big thank you to all of you. By the way, Amruta, look at Pragg's move. Pragg went after knight d5. Like, तुम क्या सोचोगी ऐसे पोजीशन में? What will you think? Like, you will think to
I'll
yourself.
calculate a forcing variation for sure because GH5 is a forcing.
Yeah.
Though not the first choice, but GH5, Queen H4.
No, you can't take because rook is
Rook
hanging.
B8 first. Queen
So, but
takes.
not rook b8 is not a big problem because after I take, let's say if you go knight b4, I can go queen e4, stopping this as well as defending this.
Just a piece down. That would be a blunder. Knight b4. Okay, got it.
And if you take here,
Then I might take knight d5.
Yeah, you can take, or I can take
Bishop
this.
c4.
And again, white is close to winning here.
Got it.
So that's the reason why.
Rook b8 then doesn't seem like a good move. But if you don't play rook b8, then you cannot play queen h4. Or you give the exchange sacrifice. No. What? Sagar? Really? What?
Knight b4. Now threatening knight c2 check.
First knight c2. Wow. Important. Okay. So how do you stop knight c2? You can't. King d1 or king d2 looks very ugly though. So maybe I'll give an exchange sacrifice and I go knight f3. Allowed.
Yeah, if
but
you play
still
knight f3,
c2 check. Anyway.
No, if you play knight c2, then you'll take here. White will be better. He'll take this. He's already piece up, and I mean he'll be exchanged down, but this knight is trapped, so he'll get two pieces for
because I'm a piece down right now.
rook b8. Now you don't have these squares, so you have to go here, and then I go here, and then I go here, and then I go
draw.
Here.
Oh.
Yeah. So Pragg, I think over here, Amruta, he decided that I don't want to get into a drawish line in spite of not knowing theory. This is what these youngsters are so good at. They are so ambitious. He goes a3. And now he asks Jordan कि क्या करना है भाई? You want to play Rook B8? Because if you
But
play
then
Rook
Queen
B8,
C6, no,
I'll
the
take.
same problem. Like
And if you take here,
GH. It's going into that similar variation, only with
yeah,
maybe one move difference.
with A3 in the picture.
Still, which is not mattering much.
So A3 actually very interesting move
Yeah.
by Pragg. Very nice move.
And I think he found it on the board. This didn't seem like his preparation. He's down to 7 minutes.
He found it on the board. That is true. And by the way, Jordan has played Rook to C8.
Finally, he defends the C6 pawn, which is kind of the foundation-like thing for black. G takes H5, Queen H4
No,
is
again,
not possible.
your
Yeah.
Rook is hanging. So first Rook C7. Queen A6.
Now he takes on H4. Bishop C4, I think white will go for, though he is
Yeah, maybe Bishop C4, maybe Queen C4.
quite a lot of options.
By the way, a huge thank you to Udit Sharma for becoming the pillar of Indian chess. It's the highest tier membership. So thank you so much, Udit. And Sarath Pawan, who's been a member for 9 months, backer of Indian chess. Great work, Sagar and Amruta. Thank you so much, Pawan.
Rahul Mukherjee says, thanks to you and Amruta, Sagar bhai, our contribution is minuscule compared to your dedication and commitment. No, but really you guys, the contribution really helps, and it definitely together as a cooperative effort, nothing is minuscule.
Yeah, Amruta, you can read a few comments. I'm going to do something very interesting.
Okay. Are you going to add the scores or something like that?
What?
Scores?
I'm not such a big expert now.
You. So are you going to dance? That's interesting. Okay. So let me see. Bishop d2. So white is going to go for long castle. Oh, I never thought of that. Then though it would be very interesting because the G file is very open and black has to short castle, which he did. We are going to be at a war. Short castle versus long castle. I think this game somehow, though the engine likes it for black, I feel it's practically Praggnanandhaa has more chances.
Achha.
Yeah, you can share your opinion as well. What is the current score in Prague's matchup? Sushan Goyal asks. Pragg has won the first game with Duda. This is the second game we are at. Chris Keynes asks, good selection for chair, but why just one? Because I have another one which is in my room. So that's why.
Good question, yeah. Chris Keynes.
And it's very huge. It's a very huge chair. And if I sit, then, it's like a lot of space is wasted.
That's like saying that if we travel in the flight, then your ticket is very expensive because you.
तो we say ना luggage में please add some more weight. मेरा weight कम है तो. Oh, look at that. I think, is it Siddharth Ranadive's suggestion? Sagar bhai, please put up the match scores.
Yeah.
Awesome. Siddharth yaar, how do you manage convincing Sagar so easily? क्या है सीक्रेट जो इतना शांति से सब चल रहा है?
He's member for many months. If you become a member, Amruta, you can ask me to do some things.
Okay. I will consider.
But I don't know if I have done a good job or not. I just did it a little bit.
Pranshas Vyas says बस इन्हीं एनालॉजीज के कारण मैं सीबीआई देखता हूँ.
नहीं दिख रहा है ना स्कोर. हाँ?
It's not नहीं बहुत छोटा है but it's okay, you tried.
What you tried?
Success is in the process, not the result.
Oh, by the way, Eric Hansen and Anish Giri already drew their game or what? Ah, they drew already, guys.
Acha. So both the games are drawn, huh? Now Anish will be white in the third game.
This is this famous game. This is this famous line. This is this famous. You know this game, Amruta?
No.
Let me show you. It was the game between score is actually not to be seen. No, Amruta?
Nahi.
I'll take it off.
I mean, unless you have the pigeon's eye.
Pigeon?
किसके आगे crow's eye क्या?
I don't know. Some pigeons might have good eyesight.
Eagle. Thank you, Swapnil Sinha.
Eagle बोलेगा भाई.
मेरे को क्यों तोड़ा?
Navara Wojtaszek, if I am not wrong.
फिश आए भी है. ओके. पिजन छोड़ के सब है.
So just pulling up that game, Amruta, because it's a
Got it.
very, very famous game. So I just want to show the people.
When
Because
was it played?
hmm,
When was it played? BL.
it was played in BL
Okay.
and it was played in the year 2015.
And did you used to annotate, right, at that point?
Yes,
For
but this
mega
is
database?
not mine.
Okay.
Just showing the. So look at this game, okay, guys. Beauty, dekho. Same line Anish played. So you take. This, by the way, annotated by Igor Stoll. So I'm going to keep it in like training mode. Okay. Here, H3, bishop E7, G4, D5, take. All same stuff happened. Knight takes E3, takes. Fe3, you give a check. King E2. Actually, King E2 was played in this game. In Anish game. But he went King F1. Okay. Now Knight to C6, Knight C5, gave a check. King G1, long castle. So you can imagine, guys, that this game, this king is on G1. Kuch, matlab nothing huge is going to happen. He'll try. But look at where the king goes. Okay. Keep an eye on this king.
Okay.
Here, Rook E1. Here, Rook B1. Here, check. You can draw anytime, but white wants to win. So king F3. Then check. Then he goes king F4.
ये वही है क्या? Oh, I think
Then
we
he
had
goes king
analyzed.
F5.
Wow, I remember this. Oh man, that last position was so
Yeah.
crazy. So crazy. Wow.
Look at where the king is. And in
Yeah,
the
this
end,
had become very famous at that
Yeah.
at that time.
I think white won with king on. Wow, white won.
Yeah.
So David Navara got his king to h8 right in the middle of the, like, okay, there were no queens, but otherwise also king
And that
h8.
too, there were a lot of complicated variations when the king was going to G7 and F8. मजा आ गया. Abhish Mathew may have seen this game even before COB, and
Yeah.
I think this is the secret.
Okay, going back to
Little volume
Praggnanandhaa.
boost. Is your volume low? Because for some
Hello.
people it's I mean it's fine. I think not for everybody, but beach mein for some people they are saying volume is low. Okay.
Hello.
Now volume is all
No,
good.
no.
Okay, so let's see Magnus's game once.
Sorry. Hello. Okay, guys, I'll talk a little louder. Whose game?
Magnus.
What about Pragg's game?
Yeah, Pragg is also. Pragg what?
Uh-huh. So after a3 move,
आवाज ही नहीं आ रही है अभी तक.
then after नहीं it's fake.
अच्छा.
Rook c8, gh, rook c7 takes, bishop c4, bishop e7, bishop d2, castles, bishop e2, knight f6, bishop f3, b4, knight takes, bishop takes, knight to e4. He took, and in this position, Amruta, what are the major imbalances according to you?
Major imbalances is the very first king safety, I would
Yes.
say. So white's king is weak, then black's king. The second thing I would say is pawn structure. That is again major. 1, 2, 3 pawn islands each. That's fine.
King wala to first main hai, it's in the center.
Correct. And also the piece coordination, I would say, is very bad for white.
And also the rook can Amruta anytime swing over this way as well. So Pragg in actually quite some trouble here.
Yeah. How did he land up here? Majorly, I thought he was going to go for long castle, but वो हुआ ही नहीं यार. He couldn't long castle after bishop d2. Why he didn't long castle?
Yeah, he could have. I mean, f2 was hanging. She decided to be a bit too safe. And now black is on the offensive, Amruta. And if Jorden van Foreest wins this game, he will equalize the scores. Can we go quickly
Yes.
and check Magnus's game? Or you can just take it from the top. I'll be back in a second. Like we saw till f3.
नहीं we तो saw आगे भी ना knight a4. Maybe we see the opening together. अच्छा.
Queen f2. No, I'll
Yes.
take.
Knight e2. बाप रे.
Is-
Look
is-
at the development and
he
still
has-
white is better.
My
इतना सब करके long castle he got. Huh? Crazy. b5 b4 ba3. I think we are witnessing one of the
What a game.
craziest game. Knight
What
C3.
chess.
This is originality ना. इससे ज़्यादा original कुछ नहीं हो सकता है.
Absolutely. Can you also check Praggnanandhaa's game?
Yes, but we just check. No, Queen e4 आया था अभी
Okay.
right now. But what is the chat moves किधर है? And how do I see arrows? Oops, sorry.
Guys, I'll be back in a minute.
So this is right now. Oh, by the way, Duda has only 1 minute, guys. Have you observed that? And Magnus is having 7 minutes after playing f3. Would have been a big surprise. I'm quickly going to go to move number 1 to just check if Duda took any time when Magnus had played f3. No, we can't understand the timings right now. So let's come back again. Knight c3 and see what black can do. Right now this is attacked, so most probably Duda will be considering bishop takes f1, and after bishop f1, let's say rook f1, but the defender is gone. So queen g2 could be an option. You can't go rook g1 because queen takes f3 aa sakta hai, I guess. Queen takes f3, and even if you go bishop h6 with the idea of rook g7, the defense is knight g6, which is okay. So going back, here we are at this position and Duda is thinking what to do. In the meantime, let's go to
If Magnus wins,
yeah.
he would have won with the first move f3.
Correct. And if black does not take bishop takes f1 right now, then the other option is to go back, which doesn't seem very interesting. So why is Duda
Magnus'
thinking? Because
understanding must be so amazing that he considers such, positions as, I think it's happening.
the update, it's not updating, I think. We have to, guys, give us a moment because the game was not updating. So we'll just. Anda Vargara says if Magnus wins with f3, Duda will never play the candidates. I mean, it's a joke, I think, but Tejas Shah asks, क्या लगता है Pragg फिर से हराएगा क्या Carlsen को? If Carlsen plays f3, then I think Pragg will definitely beat him. Yeah, what do you think, Sagar?
Yeah.
But if Carlsen wins with f3 against Duda, then he might continue playing f3 with others.
No, I don't think he will play.
He won't, yeah? कुछ दिख नहीं रहा है. Yes, guys, just give us a moment. We are getting things back. In the meantime, what's up with you guys? Tomorrow is Saturday. By the way, we have ChessBiz India Chess Club at Phoenix. And how many of you are going to come?
Okay, there we have it.
ठीक है.
Now, White King is quite exposed. But on the other hand, Queen is slightly outside the game here. So, I don't know, Magnus is just able to keep control of the position. Like he's really on this very, very that kind of a terrain where he can slip and he can lose immediately, but he's keeping balance.
So right now the threat is f5, right? It's clearly a pawn fork and black has to stop that.
Yeah, threat is to just take the queen.
Also, queen h3. So queen f5, yeah? You have to go.
Queen f5 is good move. There's no knight e7 because I have my knight. Meanwhile, let's quickly
go to Pragg's game because people had said that he doesn't have much time.
Yeah, and once again, Amruta, Praggnanandhaa managing to turn around the tables. Bishop f6, rook g4, queen c2. Not a good move. Actually, here, rook g1. Here, a better move would have been queen f3. But he goes queen c2, bishop d2, queen e2. And of course, clearly, this is a mistake. Why is this a mistake, guys? White to play. Very quickly. Come on, guys. Let's keep moving.
Anish Giri fan page says Magnus played f3 with Wesley also, and then he goes king f2 and he had won that game.
Yes, the move here is rook g7. I take the pawn with a check and then I win the queen. So, right move by Arjun Balamurali, Avnish Agarwal, Alok Raj, Anda Burger, Dhruv Maheshwari, Venkatesh Deshpande, Omkar Vayude, Somyadeep, Tejas and Narendra. So you can't take that pawn. So you play e5 here, opening up the center. But now te, bishop e5, rook c1, rook d8, king f1, and all of a sudden, Amruta, Pragg is pawn up. His king looks now slightly safer on f1.
So
And
then,
this is the weakness. I can go rook
yes,
c5.
exactly. And then to at a right time, maybe h6. I mean, the double pawns on h5, h3 would be good for white
Yeah,
by
absolutely.
using the G file.
Absolutely right. And white is in the driver's seat right now. And guys, we are 161 subscribers away from our goal of today, which is 899k. I hope we can achieve it. Please do subscribe if you're watching this and enjoying this. There's so much chess content happening on ChessBase India. You will keep on getting regular updates.
Krishna Subramanian says, I'll live in Chembur. I'll come tomorrow.
Okay, that's great. Look forward to it. Meanwhile, Shakhriyar Mamedyarov against Quang Liem is also very complicated, but Quang Liem holding his own against the great Shah. And by the way, look at this, Amruta. There have been some moves after knight e6, f4, take, knight c5, fine, knight e4, take.
What? Knight takes f2?
Yeah, maybe rook f1, maybe. Yeah.
Oh, and then gf7 and no, gf7 and fit queen. Wow.
Yeah.
Wonderful. Nice tactic.
I think what he might have missed is that after 94, he must have thought that he has to move the rook. He goes fg. And this has not happened actually. It has
he
only
didn't
happened
play.
till here. He didn't take the rook yet.
So materially, white is a piece up. If black doesn't take the rook, then he's lost.
Yeah.
So he has to take the rook. So the calculation goes knight f2 forced, rook f1. Now if fg6, I think, because
Or at g6.
let's say knight e4 is lost, right? Knight e4, gf7, king h8, f8 queen, rook f8, bishop f8. Yeah, you are still a piece up. Maybe you can show the variation once.
Yeah. Here?
Yeah, knight e4, g takes f7 is lost, but just to show how. Queen, rook f8, bishop f8, and white is a piece up. So this should be lost, and that's the reason. Here f takes g6 or h takes g6. Maybe h g6, yeah?
Yeah.
And then rook takes f2, and I think still white should be better slightly because of two pieces for a rook. So the question by Satvik is why not knight f6 instead of knight f2? Because then he's just a piece down.
Yeah.
He would be losing.
Yeah.
Please take subscribers number display a bit up. I mean, subscribe strip is blocking it. Okay. Sagar, do you want to get some rest?
Yeah, maybe I'll go in a bit.
You can, okay. So let's see. Let's stick to Praggnanandhaa's game because of time. Satyarth Parth asks, Sagar sir, which books to study to master chess from beginner level? Generally, at very beginner level, there is absolute beginner level. There is Praful Zaveri's chess course. Then there is My System, which is also a very good book by Nimzo. Generally, Sagar suggests Praful Zaviri's chess course
What?
for beginners
Yeah,
books,
yeah, yeah, absolutely.
and Silman's Endgame and reassess your chess as well. So, what is the score in Pragg versus Jordan? The first game, Pragg has won. He has beaten Jordan, and now it's the second game which is going on. Also, Magnus has played a first move f3 for all those who have joined a little bit late. Yeah, the game is not updating.
Yeah, I'm just checking.
He's just checking because we don't know if it is because of the setup or if it is something else. Parth Jibagate says, bro, I have won district championship in chess through school. So how can I continue without any help of school? Please guide me. Where do you live, Parth? Which city? But you can generally solve a lot of tactics online, or if you're very serious, you can get some more material. If you stay in Mumbai, you can come to meet us at the club. We can guide you better.
Let's hope that this stays on, but I do not know if we'll be successful.
We will try.
Looks like
Why?
Magnus is doing really well because he has two pieces for a rook, and also his c pawn is going down the board, but the king has come to stop the pawn, so it could end in a draw. And also Praggnanandhaa versus Jorden, I think after this Pragg had a big advantage.
Wow. Really? I mean, how it turned
Yeah.
around, no?
Yeah, if he could have played h6, just created a chance there on that side of the board. They took b5, takes, exchanged, and now we reach this position, rook endgame, where it seems like a very good move, Amruta, is h6.
Ah, so you do that permanent thing after h6, and black has to constantly worry about the back rank mate.
Yeah.
Best chess books for rating increase.
Yeah, I mean, Amruta, is somehow it's just hanging up all the time.
Should we?
don't know,
Maybe you
maybe we
can
can-
set the lap. Do you want to set the laptop then?
Maybe we can just do only chess.
Acha.
Let's see if it works there.
AK says, well, I'm happy to inform that I have taken training from Praful Zaveri sir at Vishy Anand Academy at Borivali Don Bosco School. That's nice. Rating, absolute rating increase के लिए at a higher level, there was a book which got very famous. It was Pump Up Your Rating. That was by Axel Smith. Wasn't he Jorden van Foreest's coach? Axel Smith.
Not
I
sure.
think so. No, or maybe Aryan Tari's.
Yeah, I think so.
Maybe Aryan Tari's coach, but it was a very nice book where he had focused on how important it is to analyze your games and find weaknesses. Shubham Pawar says, seeing you after a long time. Yes, we are streaming on a tournament after a long time. How many of you are very much still every day practicing chess, checking out the analysis videos which Sagar puts up? Or did you guys, all of you, maybe you were busy in your exams? How is it going right now?
Okay. Let's look at what's happening in Pragg versus Van Foreest game. Oops.
Satyamja says,
Oh,
I
they
don't
drew.
remember one day since last year that I did not play a game of chess. Kya baat
Nice.
hai? Very nice.
So Pragg and Jorden have drawn. Let's
Mm-hmm.
go to Duda
Oh, that's a
versus.
good result because Praggnanandhaa had gone into some trouble and he has managed to save himself. So he still leads 1.5.
Yeah, in the match. He has to get to 2.5 to win it.
So next game, if he wins, then it's over for him, I think. Going to Magnus's game. Oh, it's super complicated. The rook on c8 is kind of trapped. But even if you look at the position, the knight on e8 and bishop, I doubt if you can move one piece, the bishop, if you can move the bishop, because it's the wrong colored pawn, Sagar.
This one, no?
So if you move the bishop, black will just take on c7 and it's a draw. If you move the knight,
Yeah.
still it's a draw. If you move the knight, still rook takes c7 and it's a draw. So then it's a draw. It's like a fortress already. Because there is no progress for white or black. White can't take the pawn on f4. g2 आ जाएगा. अच्छा, check देखिए king c6.
So maybe he wants to get his knight and take here, but then as you
But the
said,
king is a little close.
take, king takes. Yeah, rook
At least he will draw in this manner.
Yeah, it has to be a fighting game. Yeah, king takes. No?
वो देख Duda, if you look at him, he's
Magnus gets a draw with f3. So that should be a fine result.
that's why Duda is not happy.
And now Magnus is again trying for a win, Amruta. Oh, he goes 95.
How are they going to draw? Because it's
Take, knight c6, and after king moves, going to take here. Draw for Magnus Carlsen. Amazing result. He started off the game with a completely crazy opening with one f3 and still managed to hold one of the best players in the world, Duda, to a draw. That is commendable, Amruta.
yeah. I think tomorrow I will try f3 in some of the games.
Where?
Chessbiz India Club. Will you?
What?
Will you try f3?
Yeah, maybe not. Not my style. Mamedyarov pushing here.
Karandeep Singh asks, is calculation book good by Agard? Oh, calculation is like what to say, an evergreen book. Very, very good. कितने भी बार solve करो, it's a must have. But it's not for
Slightly,
super beginners.
Yeah, it's for higher level.
Yeah.
It's for maybe players who are around 2000.
But even
Right.
if Sagar, certain books are not for your level, there have been times when you study them, you understand a bit about them, then you study them again and you
Yeah.
understand something else. So you don't need to discard it completely. It depends on how seriously you want to work.
Actually, I have to keep a balance between the two things because one is working sometimes and the other is not working.
Acha. Okay. You can try. Sayantan Das says, Sagar sir and Amruta ma'am, I'm watching your videos and I'm loving them. I'm a beginner at chess, but I fall in love with chess after watching Samay Bhai and Sagar sir. Thank you so much.
Thank you. Okay, please do support us. Please do like the stream and also please subscribe. We are now 144 people away from reaching 899k. We hope that we will be able to reach 899k before the end of the stream today.
सोहम पांडे से 1100 से 1100 से 950 पे आ गया हूँ सागर भाई. स्ट्रीम करते रहो आप, रेटिंग गिर रही है. How many of you on the same lines? Ankush Chatterjee asks a question. What is the point of all the players being in geographically the same place and yet playing online chess?
Yeah, it's like this esports concept, guys, that people are playing against each other some games and they are in the same venue. It hardly ever happens in chess, but I think that's one of their concepts.
Yeah, they're trying something new. It's always good to try. Smart Blind Watch asks, I have a tournament tomorrow. How do I prepare, Sagar bhai?
Just go to sleep, yeah. Really.
Oh,
That's the best
actually it's
preparation.
a very important advice. Okay, first thing you need is a good sleep. Definitely.
Just funny things. Pragg's game ended in a draw, so he's on 1.5 out of 2.
Karandeep says I am 1800. Oh, then you can definitely work on a calculation book for sure.
Nuta, Mamedyarov is 2 pawns up, and will he be able to convert this because the position does not look easy? The pawns are all scattered and loose.
Yeah, but I
P6.
think generally they say knight end games are very similar to king pawn end games, so it won't be difficult for Mamedyarov to win this.
Yeah,
In less time, it will be difficult for white to defend.
correct.
Let's see. Karandeep Singh says, can you suggest some other books? Can you suggest some other books, Sagar?
For what level?
He's around 1800. But I think build up series can be a good idea.
By Yusupov. Just check Yusupov series of books.
But Woodpecker as well. Woodpecker has all the classics, all the games of world champions, and tactics are chosen from those games, like player wise. So those can be a great idea.
Yeah. Open OBS. No, it's all good.
No, here.
It
Acha.
should be back.
Okay. Got it. Okay, actually, white's pieces have really are really very active somehow. Knight e6. If you exchange this, rook endgame will be winning. Would it be? Let me check. Okay, knight e6. If e6. Yeah, if king c5, then rook a6. Rook behind a pawn, so nothing to worry. So rook a1 has been played. Actually, we are at this position already, rook a6. Let's see. It should be fine now, guys. Yeah, king b5, rook 8, and we all know in rook endgames, rook behind the pawn is the best placement. Slowly, maybe you can go rook g8 and take one of the pawn. That's also possible. So Mamedyarov is converting this. He has 57 seconds. Quang Liem has 15 seconds. No chance. No chance. Oh, Pranshav Vyas says, how many of you been following CBI since 100k subscribers? And he says, me. Wow, very nice, Pranshav. Thank you so much. It's been a long journey since that time. Rook h1 has been played. a4. Just look at this. This pawn will come till a2. And then this pawn will start rolling. So first he brings the king. Because mainly there is nothing to worry about the king pawn endgame. Whenever the rooks are exchanged, this king is just going to be capturing the pawn and the pawn is ruling. So yeah, I think Mamedyarov is winning this and the game is going to be over. King d4, maybe go check on e5. He went king g4. Okay, white can go, either he can go attacking with king e5, rook a6, but to defend, it's important. Now a resignation is going to come. Oh, it's over. Quang Liem has resigned and Mamedyarov has won this game. Let's look at the score. 1 second. Let me see if I'm able to. Yeah, so the score I'm going to be telling you guys. CCM. Duda has drawn with Magnus Carlsen in this round. Anish has drawn with Erik Hansen. So they are on 1-1. And now Anish is going to be white. It will be an important game for him. He should try to win this one. Van Foreest has drawn with Praggnanandhaa. So if this game Praggnanandhaa is able to beat Van Foreest again, then their match will be over. If it ends in a draw, then they will play the fourth game. Mamedyarov versus Quang. Mamedyarov leads with 1.5. So similarly, if Mamedyarov beats Quang Liem, they will also be finishing their match of today. Yeah, there are 2 more games which will be there, which will begin very soon, maybe right now. Okay, so we are on a break, guys. Let's talk. So I think I'm going to meet some of you tomorrow. It's going to be interesting. If we get some time, we can maybe try to catch up with some chess. Arif Mansoori asks, hey Sagar and Amruta, how can I get my FIDE rating? Please tell. So Arif, you will have to play some FIDE rating tournaments. Especially there are such tournaments which you will have to play. And we also have a video on ChessBase India by International Arbiter. So you can check about how to get FIDE rating as well. There will be more details and it will be easier to understand, but you need to be registered on AICF, which is a very simple process, and then you can play some tournaments. And if you are able to beat some of the rated opponents, only then you get rating. This tournament's format is a little different than the previous ones. Right now already they are having a match format. So each player will be, each Pair will be playing 4 games. That's the format. Let's see if the games are beginning. Let me see. Praggnanandhaa's game has begun very quickly. I'm gonna get them on the Okay, Praggnanandhaa is thinking, he's trying to recollect some opening theory, it seems. Let's go to the game. D4. Praggnanandhaa is black here. So D4 and F6, C4, E6, Knight C3 and Bishop B4. We have Nimzo Indian on the board. Guys, Knight C3, Bishop B4. This is Nimzo Indian. E3, the very classical line of Nimzo Indian. Castle. A3, Bishop takes C3, B takes C3. Yes, black has given the bishop here for the knight, but in return there is this double pawn. So he has to try to take advantage of this. The imbalance is double bishop versus knight. So one of the bishop, what black will try to do is fix black's pawn in such a way that black's knight will be better than white's bishop. So c5. Still the bishop f3 line, f3 has been played, very typical. C5. In fact, Sagar has played this from black a few times. Let me see if, should I wake him up, guys? Give me a moment. I don't think he would want to miss this. Let me try to ask him. So he will join very soon, guys, in a few minutes. Okay, let's see. F3, C5, E4, and Knight E8. How much time has Praggnanandhaa? Okay, he's kind of prepared. He's not taken much time. Knight E8. Let's have a look at Magnus versus Duda, because we had seen in the last game it was crazy opening. And right now E4, C6, Knight F3, D5, that's Caro-Kann we have on the board. Knight C3, Bishop G4. Wow, Sagar is really going to enjoy this line, Caro-Kann. Bishop H3, Bishop takes F3, Queen takes F3, E6, G3. He's wanting to develop the bishop on G2. That's interesting. Knight F6, Bishop G2, Knight E4, Knight E4, and we are already going into an endgame with the Queen exchange here after Knight D7, D3. So the very first imbalance which we see is double bishop, pair of bishops. And now you can see the bishop on this diagonal looks very solidly placed. So Duda is trying to fight. I think he was not very happy with his result in the last game after F3. So let's see if he's able to get any advantage. Look at Magnus's time. He has 16 minutes. Very relaxed if you look at him. And A5, what a move. Beautiful move. Very quickly he has started with the idea of A4 and A3. Very, very strong. Like this, to understand such a difficult move is a good move here even before developing his bishop. That's Magnus, yeah. So bishop D6. And Yeah, there are a lot of ideas. He'll go knight f6, maybe he'll go knight d5. Maybe some ideas like h5, h4, trying to weaken here at the right time, even a4. So black is very, very comfortable. Let's try to have a look at Anish Giri's game. No, it has not yet started. Or has it started and it's not yet updating? Okay, Anish Giri's game has started. I think they have had Rai Lopez. The rooks are exchanged. This knight, very typically, has gone to the journey for the f5 square. Shashank Priya says few days back Anish told Jorden on Twitter that he will bring Pragg with him. That tweet is so relevant now. Okay, so this is the position knight g3 and Anish has 16 minutes 44 seconds. Eric Hansen is thinking he has 11 minutes. So it means that Anish has prepared this. He totally believes in this, in his position and preparation. And as we have discussed, this game for him with white is very important because with black it's not going to be easy, and he would not want to go in the tiebreakers. So he will try his best to win this game, is what I think. Let's go to the other game, Magnus's game, very quickly. We had left it at bishop d6, b3, bishop e5. So white has chosen the pawn structure where he has kept all his pawn on light squares. Bishop c3, bishop a3. The major idea was actually to stop black's short castle. King d8. Still it didn't matter for Carlsen. He played king d8, king c7, and we already are at artificial long castle for black, d4 and b5. Wow. Here black clearly has space advantage on queen side. The strength of double bishop is not seen as much because this bishop is not really able to attack any weakness. So either it has to get exchanged, then you lose the double bishop advantage. I don't see any other option though because b4 is coming very strongly, and then a4, and then the rook on a8 is getting super active. So in fact, with the pawn binding these three pawns, you can clearly see the path for this knight in the future. So Magnus's position is very, very comfortable, and practically he already has initiative. Let's go to Praggnanandhaa's game because that is really interesting. Knight e8 was played, which was a I have not seen this move much, and I would definitely consider that black's ideas would be, something possibly crazy as well. But generally, because he has exchanged the dark square bishop, generally this is the pawn structure he goes for. Knight h3 was played by Jorden van Foreest. Knight c6, bishop e3. This was attacked. Queen e7, though of course you don't need to really worry about it much. Castle and e5. Oh, e5 was played by Praggnanandhaa even without d6. And computer doesn't like this move very much because of d5. Jorden van Foreest went d5, knight a5 and f4. Actually, if you look at this position, the d6 square is vacant. Generally, as we discussed, the pawn is on d6, and right now when I look at the square being vacant, it quickly shows that the e8 knight can come to d6 and put pressure here on c4 and e4, and in the future the bishop will also join. So it does look very nice, yet it is not the best for black. Why? Because of this idea which Jordan doesn't miss. His pawn had to be pushed to f4 beautifully, beautiful timing here, important for white to be dynamic. Otherwise black is just simply going to be crushing. So f4 was a very important move, and Praggnanandhaa is thinking, did he play knight d6? Yeah. He's played knight d6. Yes. And he has 11 minutes. If you look at Praggnanandhaa, he does seem comfortable in his position. Yeah. Guys, Sagar will definitely join in a few minutes. I will be calling him. Thoda sa game और interesting होएगा. We'll go into time pressure. He has had a long day. He has also traveled to Chennai last 2 days. Early morning flight, coming late at night. Today also he had meetings. So yeah, it's been a little bit tough. Queen e2. So this was hanging, and now white played queen e2. The question is whether you want to continue more pressure on the c4 pawn. The question is, many times when such a structure exists, you have to give a thought to some move like f5. Yeah, it's like a square, and those are the real calculations which you need to do. Sachin asks, will you come to tomorrow in chess club? Yes. Okay, so yeah, f5 would be a very interesting move to consider. Though it is against the thing because it's opening the position. But my question to you is, if f5, ef4, what should black play? There is a very nice move here. What should black play? If you were black, what will you play? Aman Khinwasara, Tekwin, Mahesh, Harish, Chess Codes, Parth, Purab. Yes, you guys are right. e4 would be a very good move. You're attacking the bishop, and if the bishop goes back, then this knight from a5 comes to c4, and you have a very strong coordination among your pieces. At some point, this is going to be captured as well, and you see there are some weak points here in white's position. So this would be better for black. So that's why ef5 would not be the best way to continue. But you can take this pawn on e4, and for knight takes e4, maybe you can defend this center, which looks very, very powerful for white. Anyway, let's go to the game. What has happened? Pragg has played a solid move, which is f6. He's gone f6 right now, and white should try to play fe5, because if you play queen e5, then there is bishop f4 tempo, and if you play fe5 here, there is still bishop g5. Queen is a little bit in trouble because there is no real good square. It has to go to e8, but then you take here on f8, and after queen takes f8, the other rook swings in with a tempo to attack the queen on f8. Again, your queen, let's say, it still doesn't have a very good square. It goes to e8, then you bring your queen. So the pieces look very well coordinated and very active for white. Um, and this position would not be very easy for black, though it seems like maybe why not to take on c4, knight takes c4. That would be a simple question. Just maybe because white is getting a lot of attack after queen h4, bishop e7, and these kind of crazy ideas, sooner or later knight g5. So yeah, very dangerous. This would be very, very dangerous. So let's see how Jorden will continue, because it's not a very easy concept there. In the meantime, let's have a look at Magnus's game, because we left at b4. He went bishop b2 and bishops were exchanged. Look at this rook right now. काफी दुखी लग रहा है, आसपास कोई नहीं है, काफी अकेला हो गया है इधर. रुक h8, c3, थोड़ी तो स्पेस मिल गई उसको. knight f6, and Jorden is thinking, oh my god, the time difference is huge, because 6 minutes for Jorden and 15 minutes for Magnus. He's absolutely not using any time, or you can say he's using all the time which Duda is thinking. That's good. Once you start getting the edge on time, then it can actually be multiplied, because every time your opponent is thinking and you are thinking what to play, so you're really able to save time, and that puts even more pressure on Duda. So this is a very good trick, generally trying to play fast, and when your opponent is thinking, trying to think a lot during his time. Rook c2. Yeah, there was a disco threat on c6, so he defends it with rook d6 here. Oops, I'm sorry, I just kind of forgot to see the chat. Yeah, it's okay. Travel with Nikhil Roshan after a long time. Yeah, so much of time difference. Bhargav Patil says, I've also made a fan art for ChessBiz India. I live in Vikhroli and want to reach out to you in Ghatkopar. Yeah, Vikhroli is not far from Kurla, Phoenix Market City. Why don't you come tomorrow, Bhargav? It would be nice to meet you. So, rook d6, and Duda is thinking right now. Let's have a look at Anish's game. What's happening there, because he was very confident and well prepared. We left at knight g3, rook e8. Yeah, he continued bishop d2, bishop f8, h3, h6, queen e2, knight c5. Of course, you don't want to give that beautiful bishop. Bishop goes back to a2, queen d7, and this is the current position. So are you going to kick this knight away? That would be an option. Or you're going to play c3. Let's see what he does. What else? But he has to try to get the pieces a little more active. b4. Yeah, he goes b4. Knight can go back to e6. b7 would be really ugly. So knight e6 should be... Yeah, and black will in fact try c5, but immediately he goes knight f5. Whenever the knight is on f5, bishop on d2, always be careful. You cannot play g6 so easily. Also, generally, the other knight then jumps to h4. And it does become slightly dangerous, because generally queen f3, queen g3, these are also the ideas. So the game is going on. It's a fighting game. That's a very good thing for us to have a look at. Going back to Praggnanandhaa's game, because he was really in trouble. Has that happened? Yes. This has happened. Bishop g5, fe5, fe5, bishop g5. Actually, Van Foreest did continue playing that. Before queen e8, what Praggnanandhaa played was rook takes f1. Rook takes f1 and queen e8. So it converted, it's the same thing right now. And Van Foreest went queen knight f2. We had analyzed the move queen g4, but knight f2 is also pretty fine. The queen can jump to g6, trying to breathe a little bit and attacking the bishop there. That would be a possibility. But time is 7 minutes each. Let's quickly go to Magnus's game. What happened in the last few moves? Rook c2, rook d6, rook e3. He has played rook e3. It means that if this pawn is gone, the d4 pawn becomes weak. But at the same time, your rook is also defending the c6 and attacking d4. Rook d8. Yeah, he increased the pressure here. Rook e5 and knight d5. c4 was played, and Carlsen is right now thinking. He can go knight c3. It looks like a very beautiful spot. From there, it keeps pressure on the a2 point. But once it goes to c3, then there is no way of going to any of the squares. Yeah, the knight has to just stay where it is for maybe, you don't know for how long. So that's one commitment of going knight c3. Or maybe black can also add an intermediate move first, which could be f6, asking the rook, where do you want to go? Do you want to go rook h5? Then at the same time, I'm attacking the h7 point and I'm also attacking the knight. And now if you play the knight to c3, I actually have a choice of capturing either pawn. The only problem is if I take rook h7, then yes, you are attacking this, but once I defend this, then you are not able to defend your d4 pawn. So my rooks will become very active there. So h7 is traded for d4, which black will be happy about because he gets rook a1, and a2 is going to be dangerously weak. And if a2 is lost, then it's like these pawns are just going to be dangerous. So, has it happened on the board? No. Yeah, Magnus has played f6, so it's a choice which white has to do, whether he wants to stay here or whether he wants to go back. We will see what Duda decides. In the meantime, I'm going to shift again to Praggnanandhaa's game. Knight f2 ko. Praggnanandhaa played bishop a6, and right now he has increased the pressure on the c4 pawn. 3 pieces are attacking here, 2 pieces are defending. Is Praggnanandhaa going to win the c4 pawn? Knight g4. Yes, Van Foreest is not really caring about anything. He is trying to create a very strong attack. There are going to be threats. You can just see for a moment that if this g pawn will not exist, then there is going to be a dangerous fork. So anytime ideas like bishop h6, bishop f6, black will have to be alert. Knight g4 has been played. Praggnanandhaa is thinking. He is down to 4 minutes. He is in fact very much under trouble because of the attack coming at him. Yeah, he takes bishop takes c4. There is no counter attack for Prague, says Piyush Chaudhary. Oh, we have a super chat travel with Nikhil Roshan, says, where is Sagar by Amruta ji? Hope not filling water bottles. Good to see you after long. No, not filling water bottles because he's already filled that. He is taking a bit of rest, and I will be, I think, time to call him. Should I? Because otherwise, let me try. Let me try. Oops. By the way, Sagar, so Nimzo Indian had happened in Praggnanandhaa's game, and this is the position. He is a little bit under trouble because White's pieces are very well coordinated. He just won the c4 pawn right now, but Van Foreest has to show that kind of attack which he has to create with his knight and bishop and rook. So let's see. But Praggnanandhaa is in trouble, and bishop f6. It's a showpiece like move.
No, I mean,
You can't take on f6 because of knight f6 fork as we had considered. But what is the threat? The question is, what is the threat? e5 is hanging. That is the threat. And how can black defend?
yeah, but
He can defend easily. Take on d3 and go knight c4. Knight a c4.
yeah, that's one way. But actually, the winning idea, Amruta, was to take
Yes.
knight takes.
Mm-hmm.
And now here comes the amazing move, guys.
Oh,
White
no
to
way.
play and win. Can you find it? Yeah,
I can't find it. I mean, you have moves like yeah, gf6. What's happening? Wait, I still don't understand. Rook f6. So king h8. Let's say I go king h8 right now. Yeah. Queen
Yeah.
g8. Are you going to go rook h6 or rook? Bishop f6 is the mate threat. Oh man, is this tough?
yeah. No, this is just he just went wrong, you know. Here he should have first taken on d3. Like here he should have taken on c4 and then tried for this. But he went first.
I would still say it's a little tough, yeah, for 5 minutes. I don't know.
Yeah.
I mean, you are aware that such kind of ideas will come, but at the end, when you have to calculate and when you are giving up a whole piece, then you really need that kind of alertness. So, well, but that was nice that it was working. So, this is what we saw in this game. Let's come back to it. But going back to Magnus's game, because we had left it at f6, where we had to see what decision Duda will take. He kept his rook on h5, knight c3, and rook a5. That did happen in the game. He did not take on h7. King b6. He now goes to h5, rook d4. So the same variation which we saw, but without the a5 pawn, which is an important choice. Rook d7. This rook 4 d7, h4 and rook 8. Bishop h3, e6 is attacked, f5, g4. Wow, that's pretty forcing there. You have to take, and rook e7. Rook h5 and e5. So he's kind of stopped that rook to coming to e5 and trying to defend. So that's a nice move. Oops. e5.
Yeah.
Duda is
Also-
thinking 1 minute for Duda, and look at Magnus's time, Sagar.
Wow. Magnus has 11 minutes on hand. Duda has just 1 minute left. So the a2 pawn is slightly weak. I think good chances for Magnus here. If Magnus wins this, Amruta,
Yeah.
he would be.
Oh, it's already over. Yeah, that
yeah,
match
he
is
would,
over.
He would have won the match.
Nice.
What happened in
And
the-
going to, sorry, what happened to?
Pragg had won the first round, no? Second round drew.
Yeah, right now he's playing. Going to Anish's game for a moment now. We had left at something like bishop b7, bishop b3, rook 8, and we have to see how white kind of coordinated his pieces. What plan did Anish go for? He went for h4, h5. Interesting. Knight f4, and this is the position we have on the board. I think Anish is going to try very heavily to fight this game because he's white.
What? Oh, it takes.
Is f4 becoming weak right now? Black has to go
G5.
g5, and then that diagonal will always give some bit of problems. If you go g5 on this diagonal, कैसे ना कैसे तो ये आ ही जाएगा एक पॉइंट पे. So this is the future of this game after g5.
Yeah, but you have to play G5. I think that's the most natural way to continue.
Yeah, g5 is the only move. Actually, it's also... No, it's not the only move. So we will see what Erik Hansen is going to choose. Going back to Praggnanandhaa's game, because that is the super interesting one. Bishop d3, queen d3, and knight a c4 has been played. Black defends the e5 pawn. Praggnanandhaa here is slightly better. What is this bishop going to do
Queen G3
right
maybe,
now?
Amruta? Queen G3, maybe you can go Queen G6.
Yes, the queen will come to the defense, and then once my queen moves, I have an immediate threat of gf6. So
So Queen G3, knight e4, if knight
knight e4 is also possible.
No, knight h6 check and...
So I'm just gonna quickly have a look at queen g3, and if you go knight e4, that's super lost because of knight h6 check and mate into So queen g3 को knight e4 नहीं खेलना, but queen g6 simply creates problems here. He's not played queen g3, he's thinking Van Foreest, and we have a super chat by Travel with Nikhil Roshan.
Hello, Nikhil.
Congratulations सागर भाई for the new setup. अब तो एक स्ट्रीम साथ में बनता है ना, आप चेस सिखाना और मैं शायरी.
Sure.
By the way, people are asking, कॉफी नहीं पीता है क्या? पीयूष चौधरी सागर does not drink coffee क्या? नहीं, नींद उड़ाने के लिए. नींद उड़ाने के लिए कॉफी नहीं पीते हैं.
No, I mean, Jorden has slowly been able to, build up the attack, Amruta, by getting all his pieces into the game. But Praggnanandhaa hanging in there.
Yeah, look at him. He's actually swinging his chair. He's looking very calm, though such an attack is happening.
Yeah. Pragg is actually a picture of concentration and confidence, both. And for his opponent here, Jorden, this is a very important game because Amruta, again, if he loses this, the match is over. So Jorden needs to at least draw or even win here. With a win, he will be able to equalize the score. With a draw, he can then push in the last round for a win.
Sagar, one question. Whom would you have preferred to play such a position? With white or with black? Which color? Sorry, whom?
Yeah, I would have liked to play with black pieces because I really like when I have just the right way to defend in a position where my opponent is attacking, and I have the way to counter attack and defend my position.
Yeah, and it's the opponent who is attacking who has to constantly find the best moves, and one moment he doesn't find it, he's gone. So yeah, practically maybe it's easier for black to play.
Yeah, after king h8, Jorden is thinking. Meanwhile, Magnus Carlsen versus Duda.
Oh, look at that king on c3.
Oh, this might be another big win coming in for Magnus Carlsen.
Wow.
Rook to d7. He's pushed his pawn to c5. But look at the domination, Amruta, with the knight, rook, and the king. Maybe I go knight d3 check,
And then knight b2.
followed by
And
knight
then
b2.
you win the b3 pawn.
Yeah, absolutely. He wants to go for a check here, maybe in the position.
So right now, no, but right now it's forcing, right? When you said knight d3 check, king goes to f1, knight b2, bishop b e2, and king b3.
Yeah, there's no
It's forcing, so black is ऊपर से 9 मिनट लेके बैठा है शांति से.
No, I think
Like Magnus बोल, like इतना समय है, इतना समय.
this Magnus will be not just better, Amruta, in the position, but also on the clock. He's really going to take home this match.
अब प्रज्ञानंदा का गेम दिखता है क्या?
Oh, Pragg is winning, Amruta, after
हो
king
गया,
h8.
खुश हुआ.
Bishop g7. He sacked a piece. Pragg says, thank you so much.
See, this
Knight
is
to
what happens.
f6.
You attacking, and you get desperate and you give
Yeah, the point is, Amruta, if you play rook g3 here, I have
king f6, rook g6, king g6, and you have rook and 2 knights for the queen. Wow, Pragg is winning, man.
So in the game,
Too good.
after takes, he didn't play rook g3 because of king f6. He played h4, king h8, h5, queen h6, queen e2, knight g4. Yeah, Amruta check. He's going to exchange now. Look at Jorden there. He's like, what the hell did I just do?
Yeah,
Game is over.
I mean, still maybe he did not have to give that sacrifice, yeah, because that's like, agar nahi chelta hai, to it's over. It's like you are a piece down.
Yeah, Praggnanandhaa might just kick off this tournament with a
Wow.
massive upset. Look
Look
at him.
Are we going to
And
see
it's
a
not an upset
resignation?
as such because in Prague has
I mean,
scored
rating
wins.
wise an upset, but of course, everybody knows you cannot underestimate the guy who has beaten Magnus Carlsen when you know how difficult it is to beat Magnus Carlsen.
Absolutely. By the way, h6 by Jorden, trying to play for some back rank tricks just in case with this pawn, but Pragg is having nothing of that sort. He now attacks the pawn on h6.
Sachin says, so good to see Pragg amongst the best in the world. Tata
Yeah.
Steel and few other such tournaments.
Absolutely. These are the formative years of Pragg's chess career. And with these tournaments, he is actually pushing himself into the best players in the world. And you know, guys, in a year, if these young talents get a
Oh,
lot
it's
of games
over.
to play, whoa,
It's over.
queen f2, he went queen d2, the queens are traded, and Praggnanandhaa has made it to the second. I mean, he's won his match against
Great, well
Jorden
done, Praggnanandhaa.
with a score of 2.5.
Amazing. Pragg OP guys in the chat. This is not easy. That too, he's beaten with black pieces, and he was in trouble both the games which is won, but no, the last game which he drew and this game which he has won. But he sustained, yeah. He
Yeah.
sustained that. He was able to put his opponent under pressure. And in fact, he saved playing one more game. So he saves that much energy for tomorrow. Great. Wonderful. Pragg OP in the chat, guys. Sarthak Madan says $7,500 in Pragg's pocket. Whoa. That's interesting. Aditya Surroy. Hello.
Hi, Aditya. king e3, and now just take on h5. After that, the b3 pawn is weak, the c5 pawn is weak.
Yeah,
Hmm,
and look at the
blacklisted.
bishop on d1. किधर नहीं जा सकता है because of the b3 pawn. By the way, we have a backer of Indian chess, Dr. Manthan Kumar Das. Thank you so much for becoming a member.
Thank you, doctor.
Shashank Ashwath asks, what is the format of this tournament, Sagar? No semis or finals, just single round robin
Yeah,
of
it's
rapid
a-
matches with each player.
Yes, it's a match format, but that match is per round, and overall the format is round robin. So 7 rounds, 7 days. The tournament ends on 28th. And on 28th, 29th, Amruta and I leave for Nashik for the National Rapid and Blitz. So,
3.
well, Magnus has just managed to convert this Amruta in
Yeah.
3 games. It's just crazy with Duda, such a tough player. You can see Duda there.
Yeah.
He's like, okay, come on, I'm just lost. I have to design. Okay, king d6. He wants to push his pawn away, but knight f6. You have knight e8 and then c7. Although if you play c6, I can just move my king. c7, there is knight e8.
Look at Duda, no? He's
Yeah,
so
he's very
unhappy. Because it's not just one game, you also remember, oh, I'm losing this.
Oh, he resigns, and Magnus Carlsen has done his job. He has won it, and this means that he's managed to win today with 2.5. 2 matches already over, Amruta.
Yes.
Magnus beating Duda, and Pragg beating Van Foreest. And we have Anish Giri versus Eric Hansen. Eric unhappy in the position.
But actually, his position is better. Why would he be unhappy?
I'm not sure. Also, with the time pressure, just 42 seconds. I think time pressure is the key element, Amruta.
Okay, got it. But also, it looks so dangerous.
Ooh,
Bishop
and
c2,
now-
queen d3, isn't it over? One
First,
second.
no, start with this. Because
Start
if
with
you
queen
play
d3.
if you play bishop c2
Uh-huh.
first, then rook c3.
Ah,
stops
right,
queen
right.
d3.
Okay, start with queen d3.
Yeah, he
Did he
finds
miss
it.
that?
He
Or
plays it.
so, but there was a defense which he had instead of queen c7. What was that?
Yeah, he
Here.
had to play
Queen d7? No.
bishop d6
Mm-hmm.
and then queen d7. So bishop d6. If you were to play
Queen
queen
d3.
d3,
Yeah.
then rook takes b3.
Oh, he lost. Yeah. Oops. One second.
Yeah.
What happened? Oh,
Eric-
mate. He allowed the mate. Yeah. But look at him. He's absolutely. Let's put the last mate, na.
Yeah, queen f4, bishop c2, and he just forgot about the checkmate. Oh my god. Eric Hansen loses to Anish Giri. It just came out of the blue, the checkmate.
He still can't digest it. I mean, of course, yeah, it was a very equal position. Maybe he was clearly better at some point, and then suddenly this happened. But this was the future I predicted, Sagar.
What?
I predicted this future.
Hmm.
You remember?
Hmm.
C3, D4, G5 के बाद
Ah.
astrologer.
Hmm. Yeah, absolutely. Yes. No one should take panga with you. You can see the
Oh my
future.
goodness, really?
And meanwhile, look at
Unbelievable.
Eric Hansen. He's so upset. This game might end in a draw, Amruta. White is a pawn,
Mamedyarov,
but
see.
yeah. So just having a look at the standings of the tournament, and just to
Yeah. So actually, Pragg and Magnus's match is over. Anish का अभी पता चलेगा. And if 4 games end in equal points, then does it go to tiebreak?
yes,
And then the tiebreak is blitz game, क्या?
Yes.
2 blitz game. And
And
then the
then
Armageddon.
Armageddon, yeah.
The same way. as it was. Why don't you go and take some rest?
For what? Now I think we should stop it because
Huh.
Magnus has beaten Duda and Pragg has beaten Van Foreest.
Oh, and
Anish
Anish is also won.
Yeah, most likely he needs a draw in the last
Yeah,
round.
which he will manage.
Which not sure, but and also Mamedyarov will have a lead against Quang, Liem. So I think that's good enough for
Yeah,
today.
yeah.
Guys, let's just do like the stream
Yes.
and also do subscribe to Chessbase India. We wanted to reach 899k, but we haven't been able to. We have reached 898, 885. So
Guys, 899 तो करते हैं अगर हो सकता है तो. Before I read a few comments, Jibitesh Shah says, hello Sagar Shah, excited to see you tomorrow in Phoenix Market City.
yes,
Awesome, that's awesome.
that's at 5
5 to
o'clock.
7, you could come a
So
little
from
early.
there I'll leave and join here back for the commentary.
Yeah,
So
tomorrow. And
yeah, so
yes.
this is how things stand.
What standings to we'll get to know later only. So let's look at it again tomorrow one more time. And I like the number right now. The subscribers 8948.
Yeah, 89888. Oh, and
891. Quick PRT says quick update on Menorca Open round 4. Arjun and Nehal drew, and Gukesh is winning. Oh, that's nice. Thank
Yeah.
you. Manthan Kumar Das says hats off to your energy, Sagar and Amruta. Thank you, Manthan.
not really. Not at least my.
I know. I mean, if the future which I had predicted was so rare, and the reaction was like, my God, तूने ये predict किया था अमृता. But Sagar is like, you know he's sleepy, right? कल सागर वो वाला future जिधर predict किया, I will make you hear that segment again. Okay?
Okay.
अभी रहा से शायद मैं edit करवाऊंगी वो part.
And also, Amruta, at the Menorca Open, which is being played by all these players, there's one
Gukesh
more
was winning, it seems.
big result, which is Adiban losing to Aryan Chopra.
Oh, bapre. But Aryan is strong and he can beat Adiban. But I think Adiban is, may not have been in his best form for sure. ठीक है. So, guys, we will take your leave and we will see you tomorrow.
Bye-bye.
Bye. And as Nihar Dave says, please subscribe to this channel. क्या ही जाता है एक बटन दबाने में.
Thank you. Bye.